Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
I'm not a big fan of his brain.
They're coming to take me away. Okay, bye.
Hey everybody, my camera works now. Can you believe it? Wow. It's amazing. I went and look at this. Here, let me show you. First of all, I didn't have this software, whatever this is right here, but it allowed me to turn off the like tracking, upper body, it doesn't track me anymore. And then let's see what else is in here. Well, that's kind of, I guess I could look more into that stuff, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's actually, now it's a good camera. It doesn't have its own little mind of its own where it just starts moving around. So definitely have that, and yeah, we should be good to go. No more crazy crotch shots where it just kind of pans down for no particular reason. Hey, welcome, Wisconsin Cat Mom. All right. Yeah, maybe hit that like button, you guys. Now we're going to take a look at some more documents. Also wanted to bring up this, one of our old buddies, LM, from a long time ago, randomly emailed me this case that's currently going on in their area. Now look at this. Look at this crap right here, you guys. Florida Griffith family caged adopted and foster children. Sprayed vinegar in their faces as 9 kids rescued from the home. I mean, it was almost like a house of horrors, like the Turpins. Hey, thanks, MM. 4 Florida adults allegedly held 9 children captive inside their home, locked them in makeshift cages, forced their adopted youngsters to do chores, and sprayed them with vinegar as a twisted punishment. Officials uncovered the brutal treatment of the children inside a mobile home in Fort White, Florida on July 3rd, according to the Columbia County Sheriff's Office. 5 of the children are biological to the family, while 4 of them were adopted in a private process in Arizona. Wow, they probably got money. I bet it's more like the that family up in, what was the name of that? The family up in Oregon, the Hart case. Or it's just the same. These people just adopt kids to make money. It's crazy. Brian Matthew Griffith, 47, Jill Elizabeth Griffith, Dallin Russell Griffith, 21, and Liberty Ann Griffith, 19, were arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse on July 22nd. Police were first notified of the suspected horrors inside the home when a church official reported one of the children was armed with a functioning electric stun gun at a church camp in Bradford, Florida. Brian Griffith claimed the stun gun was a toy and fake, but officials later determined it was real, according to an arrest warrant. Officials grew more concerned about the treatment of the 4 adopted children during a wellness check where they discovered the 4 foster kids during doing chores while the 5 biological children were playing and watching. So they used the 4 adopted. That's actually what crossed my mind. I was going to say that I bet you they taught the have the biological kids don't do anything. 4 adults allegedly abused the children inside the 3-bedroom, 2-bath residence after moving. How did anybody approve of having 9 kids in a tiny house like that? Look at that. Doesn't that person's face right there just ooze that they would do this? The home, located in the deep woods of Columbia County, 35 miles northwest of Gainesville, was built in 2001 and last sold in March 2024, according to a real estate listing. The Griffith allegedly caged their children underneath a bunk bed by screwing a piece of plywood to prevent escape, spraying vinegar in their faces as punishment, and gave them non-prescribed medication. Jill Griffith is also accused of forcing the children to lie on the floor and pressing a sheet of plywood on top of the child, resulting in pain and splinters, police revealed. Look at these just. Brian Griffith allegedly beat his adopted and foster children with a cane, but was careful not to leave a mark on his alleged victims, the outlet reported. The adults allegedly instructed the children to lie about the living conditions inside the home, and never provided proper schooling for the kids. It's just like the Hart family. Every Hart family, the Turpins, all of these people do homeschooling so they can beat the hell out of their kids, and nobody knows about it. And that's the only reason they're doing it. It's crazy. And the shitty part is it's bad for people that do homeschooling that really want to be doing homeschooling. And you notice, like, people come in and go, oh, he's talking about something else for a few seconds, and they leave immediately. It's just really, I hate it, man. I hate, YouTube sucks. And people. The Griffith adults were booked into the Columbia County Detention Facility on a $500,000 bond. Jill Griffith's bond is listed at $1.5 million, according to court records. So anyways, that's something to look out for. I'm sure that'll be a story coming up in the media pretty soon. We're always ahead of the media when we talk about stuff, so you'll probably see it on some of the shows. And it's in Florida. I dare not get into too much detail, or I'll lose the entire audience. They'll take off because I didn't just keep talking about Kohberger for every second of every show. Let's see. All of mine. They're graduated and successful. But I know other. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that there's people out there that homeschool because they can probably do it better than the schools. But then there's some people out there that use homeschooling to hide the fact that they are abusing. And I mean, every single one of the cases of this type of magnitude, they do homeschooling. Every one of them. Yeah, we weren't talking about that, William. I just went over the case I was talking about. Anyways, yeah, every single one of the cases, Hart's, this one, the Turpins, everyone that you ever mention, they always have homeschooling because they don't want anybody to find out what they've been doing. All right. So let me go over a couple articles here that have come out recently. So here's one right here. Happy Face Killer wants Brian Kohberger as potential cellmate to solve security issues. Okay, so I also want to say, so when I do my shows, you guys, and people are watching, I ask people if they can help support the channel, because you guys are the only people on the when they're watching the live streams. You're all there is. I mean, there is no ad revenue to speak of on these live streams. I mean, if you have a night where you made $50 in ads, it would be a miracle. Okay, ad revenue on live streams. So, there's people out there, the trolls, there's a troll community that just hates my guts. So what they do is they always show up in the comments and they make a comment, and then all of their other troll buddies come over and like the comments. They're always negative towards the channel. And I do it because it seems like nowadays the default is for people just to show up and watch these long shows that people do, and they feel like it's rude if you say, hey, could you please help support the channel? It's ludicrous. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing anybody to do anything. But if you have the ability to, that would be great, because my channel relies on you guys. And that's what allows us at the end of the month to be able to donate as much money as we do. Now, last month we gave, I think, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 and 5,000 the month before that, and we're already at 22,551 for the year. All right, and 251,500 since January of 2020. See that? So we're already past the amount we did in 2020 this year after 6 months. And, you know, it'd be lucky if we got to what we did last year. But, you know, I'm giving it a shot. So if you're out there watching the show and you have the ability to help support the channel during the show, that would be great. I would appreciate it. All right. Alright, let's see. So, look at this. A happy-faced killer wants Brian Kohberger as potential cellmate to solve security issues, whatever that means. Let's see. The happy-faced killer seems like he's from, like, my area or something. Keith Jesperson says he wants to be prison bunkmates with Brian Kohberger, who was sentenced this week to life without parole for murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Jesperson, incarcerated for life for killing at least 8 women between 1990 and March 1995, yeah, it is Oregon, there it is, wrote in a letter to a podcaster and former prison minister Keith Rovere, who shared a note with Fox News. A transfer to the Oregon State Penitentiary in Salem, Jesper said, might save the cold-blooded killer's life. Yeah, that's what I thought. He was from Oregon, this guy. His best hope is to be transferred, and I guess that's, he spelled it wrong, to here, the Max Prison in Oregon, to be away from those who want to make a name for themselves by killing him, Jesperson wrote. Wow, he wants to go save Brian Kohberger. You know what it probably is he wants to do away with Kohberger so he can be famous, because nobody ever talks about this guy. His name is... I just read what his name was. What do you mean? It's the Happy Face Killer, and his name is right there. I already read what his name was. It's Keith Jesperson. His best hope is to be transferred to here, the Max Prison in Oregon, to be away from those who want to make a name for themselves by killing him. Jesperson wrote in a note to Keith Rovere, a former prison minister and podcaster. The prison gets inmates from other states in order to protect them from the drama. Kohberger, who managed to avoid the death penalty, well, they're not trying to make Kohberger's life comfortable. You know, that's not what the gig is. They're going to put him in a shitty place, and things won't go well for him. I mean, just look at that guy. He looks like so different than he looked a long time ago. Yeah, see, this is another one of the trolls that show up. You see this person right here? They just show up, and they know that they can just say stuff and pretend that they're new to the channel, and they type in, and oh, you seem pretty... Yeah, just get over yourself, man. The show wasn't about you, Val. Let's see. Is expected to be housed in Idaho Maximum Security Institution in Kuna. Let's see. Jesperson, whose victims were discovered in Washington, Oregon, California, Florida, Nebraska, and Wyoming, he must have been a trucker, warns that Kohberger could become a target if placed in the prison's general population. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, see you later, Val. I really don't give a damn. You're an embarrassment. So don't ever show up here again. Jesperson, whose victims were discovered in Washington, Oregon, etc., he will be singled out right away to be made a target for those who see him as weak for crimes of that kind of murder, Jesperson said in a letter. Most likely, Idaho will put him into protective custody like Jeffrey Dahmer. But we all know how that ended. Yeah, what's weird is like he almost seems like he's physically, his structure has changed. Well, good. I'm glad you like the channel, Golden. But what we do is we have these trolls that come in and methodically make specific types of comments over and over again, you know, and they just do it. And, you know, I probably shouldn't respond to them. But, you know, you notice how they say something rude right out of the gate, and then I say something back, and then they call me rude again. And then it's sort of like, that's what passive-aggressive people do, okay? That's what they do. They try to trick people into thinking that the other person did something wrong. Let's see, in 1994, Dahmer, who practiced necrophilia and cannibalism before he was convicted of killing 17 men. Yeah. At trial, Kohberger defense pointed. There wasn't a trial though. What are you talking about? You mean in a court hearing? Pointed to social awkwardness and autism. That's why it's weird. Like that one, the video that I put out today. Yeah, gaslighting. You know the video that I put out today, where that neighbor said the guy just walked by, didn't say anything, and even when and she said that was him. I actually believe those stories. It just absolutely makes sense. Especially some of the other ones when like Kaylee saw some guy up there, you know, and you know, it's hard to tell how old Kohberger is, you know, when he had his hair, his normal hair, etc. You know, you can't really tell how old he is. Right. I don't know. I mean, some people say he's got autism. Yeah, I don't even know who Mel Stiller is. Who's that? Yeah, nobody knows what you're talking about, Mel Stiller. Yeah, I wasn't talking to you. Are you going to cause another problem too? I have no idea who you are. I never even mentioned you, nor was I talking to you. The person I was talking to is no longer in the chat. So are you trying? I mean, what's going on in here already, you guys? This is ridiculous. So we got that one, and let's see. I'm going to just read some of these different articles that are out here. Brian Kohberger shows cracks as families confront him in court. Let's see, it says, from the moment he entered the courtroom for a long-awaited sentencing for quadruple murders of 4 University of Idaho students, Brian Kohberger projected what experts described as a cold robotic presence. According to body language expert Susan Constantine, his frozen posture. You know what's weird is, this probably isn't popular, but I don't buy into any of the stuff like body language people, and you know, like, you ever notice how they're really good after the fact? You know, like that one. There's those one. I mean, it's fun, and, you know, it's interesting, it's fun. But you ever notice how it's always, they're so accurate after the fact? This guy is guilty. Oh, yes. Now, look at how he's... But why don't you do it before, you know? Let's get some of your... before he's even, you know, he's out there, and maybe they just arrested him. Let's see what you say right then. That would be awesome if you would do that, and then it turns out you were right. But they always seem to do it after the person is, you know, charged, and a bunch of documents come out, and they feel pretty comfortable that they got the right guy. And then they start doing body language diagnosis, or whatever you call it. Oh my God, are we still talking about it again? Let's see. Mine is stuck on an ad and won't play. But hey guys, we're currently into the show. We're struggling mightily, so if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be great. We've got one new member, and we're at $4.99. We try to reach goals on the show so that we're coming up here. We've got 3 more days normal today, and then the 28th, 29th, 30th, and then the 31st is our donation night. Yeah, it's not autism. I think it's schizoid. I think he could have. I think he might have Asperger's. I mean, you remember Adam Lanzoid? Lanzoid. Adam Lanza. I think he's got sort of some similarities there. Maybe Adam Lanza was a bit worse, but I feel like he's kind of possible. It's not an excuse for anything. They know what right and wrong is. According to body language expert Susan Constantine, his frozen posture, sunken appearance, furrowed brows, and manic stare suggested a man attempting to control the courtroom with covert hostility, masked as indifference. That's a pretty creative. I don't know what that means, Royal. His mask at times cracked in subtle ways as he was sentenced for the murders of Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogen, and listened to the emotional and Madison. Yeah, I guess it seemed like I missed one, but Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogen, and listened to the emotional victims' impact statements. I mean, just look at this weirdo, man. What happened? I mean, one of the things that's weird about him is he's almost, if he does have OCD, he's spent all of it plucking his eyebrows. Every second he's plucking a different eyebrow out. Like a little, he's sitting there plucking, sits in front of the mirror all day, so that's why he looks so weird. The bushy eyebrows sort of mask the fact that he's got these protruding, Cro-Magnon eyebrows that come out. Maybe even almost like Homo sapien neanderthalensis. Jesus, look at that one. Are you kidding me? Whew, wow. I mean, he's just one step away from Frankenstein. He just needs another one of these huge zits there on this side and attach some electrodes to it. Constantine told Fox News Digital that his body language communicated emotional detachment as he sat rigid in an orange jumpsuit and shackled ankles, listening intently throughout the multi-hour sentencing. Body language expert and defense attorney Linda Kenny Baden, I guess, described Kohberger as an empty vessel filled with hate, telling Fox News Digital that despite his efforts to appear unbothered, his emotions at times betrayed him. Yeah, I don't know. When I watched him, he made very few little faces here and there, and they're just kind of, yeah. We got another troll in here, you guys. At this point, if anybody out there believes Brian Kohberger's innocent, you need to have a lobotomy. And you're an embarrassment to mankind. Okay? Thank you very much.
Gray, you're so mean to your subs. I used to sub just because I thought Kohberger was innocent doesn't mean...
No, it means you're an idiot, is what it means. There wasn't even a second. The moment that probable cause came out, he has been absolutely locked in as the killer. There has been no doubt at all. In this case, I've been saying the same thing for 2 years. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there didn't get to watch the channel. I've been saying it over and over and over and over again. And then we finally started getting some documents about a year ago that kept coming out in the court filings. And by the way, every one of those was so much worse for Brian Kohberger. Every one of them. There wasn't one document out of the entire document set that came out in 2 years that ever helped Brian Kohberger. There was nothing. Every single one of them kept piling on top, one after the other. Ann Taylor couldn't find a damn thing that would help him out. There wasn't even an innuendo of something. All right? And then when all the pressure was mounting and they knew where the writing on the wall was, after they tried their last 2 ditch efforts, he decided to, when they tried to do the, Dateline's going to cause a problem getting a jury. And then, let's accuse 4 random people. They don't even know each other. Let's see which one sticks. I mean, if you could have at least just tried to throw it on one, like you had some info on him. Instead, you started, how about this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy? Hey, you threw it at a wall, it didn't stick. All right? It's stupid. And then when it all failed, Ann Taylor turned to Kohberger and said, we gave it our last gasp. Now I have to try to save your life here because you are likely going to get the death penalty. It's possible somebody might not, but are you willing to take that risk? And he said no. Then the deal was, after negotiations, that he'd get life in prison 4 different times consecutively with the 10 years on the breaking and entering. And he also agreed to never appeal. Innocent people don't do that. Kohberger's the killer, everybody. There is no doubt. Whenever you see these people saying it, that means they are psychologically impaired and have psychological problems. They can't think their way out of a shoebox. All right? Hey, thanks, Jax, D, and MM 4748. Looking for adult. Look at, they're trying to get a wave going here, you guys. Don't leave them hanging. So thanks, MM. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're on this channel, you would have known. We went over the probable cause the night it came out, and we were like, wow. And then we went over it like 4 more times all the way through, and each time you go through it, you sort of really see the profound nature of even just the probable cause. It wasn't like, how you have to get 51%. This thing was, it was way more than that. You're talking about a guy who has a vehicle missing a front license plate that's seen driving around the area over and over and over again. And then inside the house was a knife sheath that led to forensic genetic genealogy or investigative genetic genealogy that led to Brian Kohberger. And then to prove it, they collected DNA out of the trash at his parents' house, and it came up with the biological father of the contributor to the DNA on the knife sheath. And then that was enough to arrest Brian Kohberger. Then they swabbed him and compared that to the sample from the knife sheath, and it was a 1-to-1 match in CODIS. I mean, every single marker matched out of 24, and that's where you get the octillions. All right, that's how you get that. Yeah. So I mean, the DNA on the knife sheath in the on the bed makes it so that it's absolutely unreasonable to believe that the white Elantra that was parked outside wasn't his. You see how that works? Like, if he didn't have the DNA on the knife sheath, you'd say, okay, there was a white Elantra. Wow, that's sort of interesting. He turned his phone off and everything during that whole time, and then his phone turns back on near Blaine just 28 minutes after he drove away. I mean, that's interesting. But the fact that his DNA is on the knife sheath, that means that the car that parked at 4:08 and drove away at 4:20 and 47 seconds was his. It's unreasonable to believe otherwise. And now we know for certain that was true. It wasn't a lime green Elantra. It wasn't a hobgoblin, somebody driving a vehicle around. It was Brian freaking Kohberger, the nut job. All right. Hey, thanks, Derek. How about a $5 boom from everyone? Hey, thanks, H-Doc. That would be great if everyone did that. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, Trollburger. I mean, these guys are, it's just incredible. And they're still making videos, you guys, about how Kohberger is innocent. How can there be that many stupid people in our society? It's just weird. It's the people watching. The guys doing the shows, they've got a slick little gig going. They know exactly what they're doing. They know Kohberger did it. But they realize that the people that watched them all these years were, believe that Kohberger was innocent, and they didn't believe it the whole time, but knew, like, wow, I can have unlimited content. And now they're doing it again, even though it just must be so shame. I mean, they must be filled with shame every single night when they go to bed, when they're brushing their teeth, looking at themselves in the mirror, knowing how they're suckered these people for all these years to pretend that Brian Kohberger is innocent. There was never even a point where there was some piece of information that would make you go, oh yeah, wow, that's interesting. It's embarrassing. Really, really quite embarrassing. There isn't, Scott. Your brain's malfunctioned, okay? There isn't another person. When you say there's definitely another person, you're insane, okay? There is not. When you say there's definitely another person, well, where? Where is the other person? Who is it? Give me any piece of information that points to something. Well, I don't have any great. It's just a feeling. It's a feeling that I've got. Yeah. Right.
Size 14 shoe at the front door, Gray.
Oh my God. Get the hell out of here. Embarrassing. Doesn't mean anything. Thanks for all the mapping, etc. Yeah, well, I think my analysis of the case is better than the mapping. I just set myself aside from the rest of them while doing that. The thing is I think our analysis on this channel, the mapping, the visuals that we do are way better than any other channel out there. Unfortunately, my channel doesn't have the gimmicks and everything to get everybody to, oh, go over there, yay! You know, it's weird. I don't know if it's the algorithm or what the hell it is. It's just, it sucks, you know. All right. Involved. I'm going to go down here. I guess Derek had to follow his own wave. BK days are numbered. Lucky if the asshole makes it to Christmas. Yep. There's probably some Vegas betting option somewhere. There isn't anybody else, Scott. Okay? You might want to pretend for the rest of your life that there's somebody else because you need the case to keep going for your own, to solve your own something, you know, whatever's wrong with you. You want to keep it going, etc., etc., etc. There was never, ever in this case been evidence of any other person involved in the case. And Kohberger definitely never came forward with anybody else.
Well, what about when he said, did you arrest anybody else, Gray?
Oh my God, here we go. Yeah, what about the trail? Yeah, look at Mike. That's right. Mike wrote an article. It was quite fascinating. There was a guy named, what was it, Arian Kohberger and Brian Kohberger. Yeah. In one photo, Kohberger was seen shaking hands with one of his defense attorneys. Look at, he's not even really looking at her. She's smiling. She always has that big, you can see it, but look at him. Alyssa Masseth, who's facing him, Kohberger's expression is tense and composed, his lips pressed into a tight line as he maintained a fixed forward gaze. Masseth, known for her work as a capital qualified defense attorney, appeared professional and engaged at the moment, while Kohberger appeared rigid, with his eyes piercing past her. The victim impact statement kicked off Wednesday, his mask cracked in subtle but telling ways, like incessant blinking, leaning back, a tightened jaw movement. Sounds like somebody has to go to the bathroom. Particularly when his ego was directly challenged by the family's statements. Well, Olivia, I mean, you know, we all saw that. She just killed, I mean, just destroyed Brian Kohberger. In Olivia's victim impact statement, Constantine observed Kohberger's rapid blinking following each emotional jab. Kaylee's oldest sister delivered a scathing rebuke of Kohberger. Well, the problem is Kohberger had nothing to say back because there isn't anything to say back. See, look at these dummies. Look at this idiot in here. This Donna comes in.
Did he say he did it or did he just accept the plea deal?
What he did was he said he did it. He said yes. Remember when he was asked the questions in court? Did you do this? And he goes, yes. Each time. Are you guilty of doing it? Yes. He answered it all 5 times. He said yes. Okay? So, I mean, come on, you guys. Have a brain. Try to get one that functions next time, though. But FBI can't in his devices. What? No, I'm not talking. We're not doing a guilty and is there any other killers conversations in here, all right? They're not. It's not going to be allowed. That's not what we're doing here. We're just trying to figure out actually how it all went down in here, okay? I'm just reading a couple of these articles here. This isn't a place for the sort of, the unknowing people that are still out there trying to find an angle of interest. All right? We are just trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and we've been doing a very good job of it. Like even just yesterday, I mean, it was so cool just working through this a little piece, about the letting the dog out, and then Kaylee was getting ready for bed, so she was still upstairs in her bed, or she was upstairs in her bed, and then Madison and Bethany took the dog outside, and Dylan went downstairs with him, and then Dylan went to her room, and then Bethany went down to her room and started watching a television program, and then Madison comes inside and goes, hey, have you seen Murphy, to Bethany? And Bethany says, no, I haven't seen him. And obviously Madison found Murphy and then went upstairs and then probably put the dog into Kaylee's room and then went to her room. And then a couple minutes later, I would think, Kaylee gets out of her bed. That's why it looked like somebody was in it, and then goes into Madison's room to help continue the phone calls to Jack all the way up until 2:50 something. And then they were laying on the bed making these phone calls, and then they went to bed after Madison called Bethany at 2:52-ish, right? And that's almost the exact time Kohberger is leaving Pullman, Washington. And then an hour later, an hour and 10 minutes later, or 20 minutes later, he's in there killing them. It's absolutely crazy. Hey, thanks, CR. They're always so kind in giving away those channel memberships. But I do need the support of everybody else in here tonight. We're having one of those slow ones for an unknown reason. So if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, allows us to keep doing what we're doing, and that it also helps at the end of the month when we have the extra, because there's a certain amount where the channel needs to survive, and then I donate a ton of money to we have a DNA fund that we have over 100,000 in, and our scholarship fund we are at 5,000. We need 6,000, and once we get to 6, we give away 3 more $2,000 scholarships to students in the criminal justice field. All right, I'm not just saying it just to say and have it go through your ears and go yeah. I need this support from the people watching the show. All right, Kaylee's older sister delivered a scathing rebuke of Kohberger, saying that he was not profound. Yeah, that part was great. You're not profound. You're pathetic. Yeah, I mean, again, my favorite line was when she said, "Now sit up straight." That was just so, like he's a little kid in school, because she's about ready to school him with this shit, and she did. Oh man, I can't imagine how much anger he must have had, and he couldn't do a damn thing about it. As a matter of fact, that's probably what that look is right there. He's envisioning what he wished he could have done. You see that? Like he's thinking, he's not even looking or seeing anybody. He's looking past people, and he's just going, man, I wish I could. And he can't do a damn thing. Constantine said that Kohberger's escalating blinking signaled a discomfort and ego disruption as Olivia issued her sharp and condiment tone with an edge of condescension and snarkiness towards Kohberger. Yeah, it was great. Baden called Olivia's statement the star of the courtroom, saying that she had rattled the snake's head off. Yeah. I mean, you have this beautiful woman that is smart as hell, who is exactly the person that Kohberger would hate, and just absolutely destroying his manhood into nothingness. And that's God, it's just so perfect, you know. Her takedown included rhetorical questions challenging his motive and intelligence. What were Kaylee's last words? She asked. Do you feel anything at all, or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. You didn't create devastation. You revealed it, and it's in yourself, she said. That darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with long after this is over. That is your sentence. As Kaylee's mother expressed that Kohberger stole her peace, Kohberger remained stone-faced. When you murdered my daughter, you shared others. You stole my peace. You altered my every waking moment, she said. But Constantine and Baden pointed to Kohberger's subtle shoulder tension and tightened jaw as Goncalves landed another emotional punch. I wish I could crown you a jester hat, she said. Go to hell. Constantine and Baden said that Kaylee's mother's sarcastic jab at his genius status and calling him a joke assaulted his constructed self-image. Can we put "You are an embarrassment" on a mug? Yeah, we should be able to do that. Yeah, I mean, and drink it every time one of these lunatics comes in here and keeps talking about how Kohberger's innocent, or there was somebody else too. Yeah, because it couldn't just been the guy. You know, see, everybody that's saying somebody else was there too are all pro-burgers who now, some of them have to admit that he's the killer, but want to make it seem like they were sort of onto something and right the whole time, so need to find that there's another person involved. That's why they're doing that. That's the psychological reason. Now, Kaylee's father, Steve Goncalves, physically moved the podium to confront Kohberger eye to eye. It was a direct power reversal, Constantine said. The world's watching because of the kids, not because of you. Nobody cares about you, he said. In time, you'll be nothing but two initials forgotten to the wind. He called Kohberger a joke and described how easy it was to track him down. Police officers tell us within minutes they had your DNA, like a calling card. Hey, look at that, the calling card. You were that careless, that foolish, that stupid. Master's degree, you're a joke. Complete joke, he said. And you know what, apparently, like, she was writing something else, because she thought, oh, I can't do this. But then after her dad turned the podium, she got the, you know, like, I'm going to do it now. And she just nailed the shit out of that thing. I mean, Jesus. As Goncalves downgraded Kohberger from criminal mastermind to sloppy coward, Kohberger leaned back, the only full body reaction noted by Constantine. His full body reaction was indicative of discomfort, retreat, or shock, she said. Laramie voiced through quieter hit a nerve, Baden said. The body language expert noted that Kohberger winced and his breathing changed as Laramie spoke about Maddie. So maybe it's a reflection of, like, you know, he had sort of emotional feelings or whatever. Laramie said the tragic loss of their daughter has left a vast emotional wound that will never heal. Yeah. Let's see. Constantine noted Kohberger's emotional void as Xana Kernodle's older sister spoke, declaring, her light still shines and her voice will echo louder than his pain. You didn't take that from us and you never will. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he just looked like a robot to me. Baden noted a shift in posture as Xana Kernodle's aunt offered an olive branch and forgiving Kohberger and offering to talk. For the first time, Kohberger slumped slightly, exposing his stomach change, perhaps revealing fatigue, discomfort, or acknowledged remorse. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was just kind of cool reading what people were saying again, but I don't necessarily buy into. I was gonna. She looks so similar to her sister, especially from the side when she was talking up there. I was like, God, that's crazy. It looks just like. It looks like Xana. All right, I'll try it again, you guys. If you guys could please help support the channel in here tonight, that'd be great. We're currently at 1/8 of the nightly goal, so I don't have any other cards to play. I just tell you what the situation is. So if you guys can, that would be great. If you can't, you can't. All right, so this was pretty interesting.
Years of experience that
to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Mr. Kohberger has never expressed an explanation or offered an explanation for why he did what he did. He has admitted under oath that he did what he was charged with. I can tell you from my years of experience.
You hear that? He admitted under oath he did it.
Rarely does somebody in his situation give an accurate, true statement of what occurred. People tend to be very self-serving. They are selective, and I would expect nothing less from Mr. Kohberger. I can also say, and Judge Hipwert talked about this, that you really can't rely.
I think that I was told Papa Rogers is a female. Hey, thanks so much, Tumbleweed. Hey, it gives me some hope. Thank you. Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, rest in peace. Maddie, Katie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. There you go. It's almost like, could you make a word out of that if you like reversed things around? Like, I don't know. Oops, shit. That's not what I was doing. Here, I'll just play this over.
I sentenced the defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Mr. Kohberger has never expressed an explanation or offered an explanation for why he did what he did. He has admitted under oath that he did what he was charged with.
Wait, hold on. It's not a E. It's Sigma Chi. It's a Sigma. So it might look like that to you, but it's not an E. Because there's actually a Sigma Alpha Epsilon. That would be an E. There's a Sigma Chi, which is an X and like a sort of a, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. It's like an M sideways or something. Yeah, it's kind of cool, I guess. I mean, if you want to. All right, well, send another super chat and then we'll remove that one. How do you like that? God, I just did that again. It's crazy.
Yes.
Defendant to a fixed term of life imprisonment without the possibility of parole.
Mr. Kohberger has never expressed an explanation or offered an explanation for why he did what he did. He has admitted under oath that he did what he was charged with. I can tell you from my years of experience that rarely does somebody in his situation give an accurate, true statement of what occurred. People tend to be very self-serving. They are selective, and I would expect nothing less from Mr. Kohberger. I can also say, and Judge Hipwert talked about this, that you really can't rely or hope to rely on what a defendant might say in court, because they are going to minimize themselves and minimize their actions. I can appreciate that we would all like to know the details of what happened, but Mr. Kohberger is not going to be the source of getting the truth. Society seems to have developed kind of a macabre interest in sensational, violent crimes like this. I guess some of it's human nature. Candidly, I think some of it is driven by what is now called media, social media.
I don't think it's macabre.
I don't pay any attention to it.
Follow cases.
So much of it is bogus and inflammatory and hurtful. There's no reason to glorify what happened.
Yeah, see, the thing is, that's where I feel proud of the way my channel was during this case. We never did that. We just covered it. I mean, that's why I didn't get the views other people got, because I just went over the factual elements of the case, slowly putting it all together. I mean, it was almost a little bit like they did. You know, putting little pieces together over and over and over, and then making another video, adding the new piece in there, and then making another video, adding that one and that one and that one. And then when we're all done, it's like it's so obvious. And that's how we did it over here, you know? I mean, at the beginning, you're all kind of wondering stuff like, ooh, I wonder if this guy did it. I wonder if this one did it. This one, this one, this one, this one. And that's why law enforcement should be quicker to put out documents. You know, the probable cause shouldn't have to take months, 2 months or whatever to come out. It should come out, like, right away.
And there's no reason to glorify the person who committed these crimes.
Yeah, those are the Kohbergers. Yeah.
Well, I'm a big fan of making as much information as we can available to the public, because it's always better to have the facts out there than speculation. I think the only limitations we have is we're also responsible to protect the privacy of some of the people and the families involved here. And there's some things that the law simply says we should not release. I know that the Moscow Police Department has made available, I believe, all of their investigation reports have been, I'm sure, redactions to protect the identity of third parties, innocent people.
What about you?
The Idaho State Police are going to do the same thing. And we are hoping that people take advantage of that, and we're hoping that responsible media take advantage of that to get the word out to the public and try to answer questions.
Yeah.
And I understand how folks want answers right away.
Idaho State Police.
But if we get in too much of a hurry, that's where mistakes are going to happen. That's where we're going to compromise being able to hold somebody to account.
That's pretty interesting, huh? Well, I mean, some of what he just said made sense, you know. Yeah, it's hard to know what the real reason Bill... I mean, we hear what he's saying. Like, what was the real reason? Was he, just... I mean, I think they absolutely knew that they have Kohberger, but it's just like, man, do we want it? It's just going to be millions and millions of dollars over these years. And if they don't want to if they want to come forward with a deal, then... I remember that one hearing when Hitler asked if, about, like, have you guys had any sort of plea discussions of any kind? I wonder if that was sort of like a wake up. Hey, thanks up there, Rita Schaefer, for gifting a membership. And look at that, you got your star on there. You've been around a long time. Haven't seen you as much lately, but... And then there's Derek Sherman again. BK looks like on how he speaks. Not all there. Then Lacey said, thanks, Gray, for all your reporting on this case and the facts. You're great. Hey, well, thank you. Very cool. Hey, we got to a quarter of the goal tonight. Not bad. Right, well, we've already talked about Elena that about 100,000 times on here. I know you've seen it because you've been here, but as I've said a bunch, is that you could get him guilty, the guilty verdict would happen, but it could also be a hung jury if you have one of these, these morons that show up in here, the Kohbergers. If you have anybody like that at all, and you know what I'm saying right now? People get angry that I call people morons that are Kohbergers. And why? It's so stupid. It means that your brain doesn't work right. So it's not rude or anything. It's just true. It's like one of those things like, 1 plus 1 is 17. Well, no, you're wrong. No, I'm not. And then, well, you're an idiot then. Can you disagree with that? I mean, it just is what it is. How disposed of the knife and clothes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't have asked just about the knife. Where did you put the knife? And see if they can find it. Yeah, it is. And they argue the same way as flat earthers. You know, things that you can't prove yourself because you're not an astronaut. You know, they'll just say the same things over and over and over and over and over again. They are gonna release documents. He just said that. No, they're not being. Well, they're being twisted by the Kohbergers. I haven't twisted one document. It all makes sense to me. You know, some documents have weirdness, and then you go like in last night's document, for example. They're quoting Bethany, and then one of the quotes is like, Madison was up in her room watching this movie. But then later, it's Bethany said she was in her room watching the movie. And that was that makes way more sense in how it all went together than Madison doing that. Serial killer on North Coast and Queensland and Australia. 5 victims along beaches. When? What are you talking about? The layout of the house was so strange. Actually, it's kind of a basic layout, to be honest with you. I don't think it was strange at all. I mean, once you look in there, it's very simple. On the first floor, there's just a bedroom to the right when you open the door. And then pretty much in front of you and slightly to the left as you enter the front door is the laundry room and laundry room and bathroom. And then you just go down that hall and there's Bethany's room. That's the front left window. Right? But as you also enter the front door, you can make an immediate left and it goes up to the stairs into the living room. And then you're in the living room right there. And then you take a right, follow the guardrail for the stairs, and it goes right into Xana Kernodle's room. But from the living room, if you leave the living room on the second floor, you just make this one little step down, and to the left is Dylan's room, to the right is the kitchen, and then there's stairs right in front of you that you can then take up. You go to the top of the stairs, you turn left, that is Kaylee Gonzalez's room. If the top of the stairs you took a right, you would run straight into a bathroom. Right when you're at the bathroom, however, if you don't go into the bathroom and you turn to your right, there's a door, and that is Madison Mogen's room. It's that simple. It's a really simple layout. The house looks stupid, but inside it's not difficult at all. And everybody that's on my channel that watches it, right? It's very simple, right? I mean, it's not like a real complicated situation. I don't know what that means, Cheryl. I don't know what that means. I just walked in, saw you all say his name. Nobody knows what that means. I've never seen a kitchen and living room upstairs. Well, it's on the main. I think the second floor is the main floor. The first one is kind of just seems like a basement that just happens to be above ground. The second floor, I think, is kind of like the main floor. It has 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a kitchen. Yeah. The first floor is... That's what I just said, Cali Gal. I just said that. Yeah, it's built into a hill. I mean, look at it. We're looking at it right here. Look. It's right down there. See this right here? That's Bethany Funk's room. That right there is... I guess they use it as an office, but that's kind of, they also put golf clubs and storage stuff in there. Then right there, that's the living room. That's Xana Kernodle's room over there. At the top up here, that's the bathroom window that's adjacent to Madison Mogen's room. That right there is the window that just looks out, that's in the hallway between the bathroom and Kaylee's room over here, which is a window. And then on the other side, Kaylee has a deck that's just above the deck of the kitchen. Same slider, everything, just 1 story above. Hey, look at that. Alley Cake just gifted a membership. And so did Rita Schaefer earlier. Yeah, that was crazy. Right before, like, the next day, they tore it down. I mean, I filmed it being torn down. I wish I had flown my drone a little bit more aggressively and just, like, put it right there, right in the middle of it all. I didn't do that, though. You're kind of nervous because there's other drones and people, a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's kind of a, you know, they just sort of jerry-rigged a house together and stuff, but inside it's not confusing at all. It wouldn't take more than a second to figure out what's happening, you know, what to do in there. I mean, look, I got it right here. All right, so this is the sliding glass door. So if Kohberger came in, look, like there's a sliding glass door. He turns, and there is Dylan's room. And then he would know that the girls are upstairs, so there's the stairs right there. Oh, there you go. And then he would just go right up the stairs. You know, I'm moving around, so I moved back a little bit. I went into the so in this video here, that's the living room. That's Dylan's room. There's the stairs. And then immediately after that, I go up the stairs. So there's Dylan's room. Now we're going up the stairs right here. And, you know, there we are, making our way up the stairs. And almost at the top of the stairs now. Now we're at the top. That is Kaylee's room right there. This is the bathroom I told you about. And that's Dylan's room. Madison's room, excuse me. So this is the bathroom. This is Madison's room. And that's Kaylee's room over there. And now we're in the room. And this is where both the girls were found, except they were both on their backs. And this is the window that Kohberger would look through while he was parked back there. Right? It's, you know, it's not like rocket science. So here it is, where the door's open. Now we're going down the stairs. That's Kaylee's room right there. We're leaving Madison's room. Now Madison's room's right around that corner. That's Kaylee's room. And that's the window that's out the front, that's in the middle of the second or third floor that you see at the top up there. And now we're going down. I just did a weird shot here where I was still way up in the air. And we're going down to the bottom. And now that's Dylan's room. We're at the bottom of the stairs. This is the living room right here. And now we're in the living room. That's where the couch was right there. There's a TV here. Right down that hallway is Xana Kernodle's room. But first I'm over here. So this is a good place to visualize when Dylan was in her room, hearing all of the whole nightmare. She sprinted from that opening right there, or, you know, walked quick. I don't know if she ran. And then could see down there that Xana was laying on the floor, and then went down those stairs there. And then went to Bethany Funk's room, who's right below here. Like Bethany Funk's room is right there. So at the bottom of the stairs, you just do a U-turn and go back the other direction, and you're right in Bethany Funk's room. Hey, thanks. What is it? Lish Smith. All right, now we're going down the hallway here, making our way closer and closer. And here's the bathroom. I'm sure layout was totally different than that, but I just made a bathroom. And then right here is where Xana and Ethan were. Obviously, Ethan was on his back. His legs were off the edge of the bed, and his head was like behind the bed, sort of bent backwards. They couldn't see his head. And then Xana was actually on her back here, but orientated correctly with their head towards this wall and feet going back that way. And, you know, in this room, like, I don't know if it's still playing. Yeah, so if we go like this, so it looks like, I think Ethan's head was sort of, this bed was away from the wall, and his head was down between the wall and the bed. And that just so happens to be the same wall that those photographs were taken, where there's blood coming outside. All right, that's crazy, but that's the same wall that's outside, and right here even. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like, okay, let's see. Now, let me just show you a picture of this. So look at this. See right there? That wall there is the same wall that's right here. And interestingly, it's even on, like, that wall goes from like here to there, but the blood coming out is near the end over here, and I think that's exactly where his head was, and his feet, he was kind of at an angle, and his feet were out the edge of the bed there. Alright. Alright, so now we're exiting the room. And then Dylan, you know, I'm sure she was more into the room than I have her. I just wanted to make her visible. And now we're inside of Dylan's room. And then that's kind of what it would have looked like when you walked by. You could see his eyebrow, nose, etc. And then this is her looking at him, you know, walking into the kitchen, and he's going to go out the sliding glass door. So at that time, she probably felt like it was safe that she could answer a call or make a phone call. And there she is looking out again, and he would have gone out that sliding glass door right there. This is a linen closet, or a pantry, I guess. And, you know, so now her door is shut and locked, and he's already gone through there, and he's out of there, and he probably left the door open. Probably wouldn't want to touch anything when he was leaving. And there you go. So, anybody out there that hadn't seen this before think, oh, wow, that was kind of simple. Did it help people that didn't know? Or, I mean, I think a lot of you have been here before, so you've seen it. Alright, we're currently at a third of the goal tonight, so if you're out there and you can support the channel, that would be great. I don't know if we have any coffees or anything. We do have a coffee from Judy from Australia. Thank you. You kept hearing what wasn't what. Does anyone remember in the beginning when they tried to tell us it wasn't blood? Yeah, there was people. There were just people. There wasn't a they. It was, you know, people on social media would say that. Nobody no officials would say anything about it. That's what you got to look at. They said if you think the house is complicated, hit the like button. Well, hell, that's gonna make really reduce my likes a lot. Yeah, hit that like button though for me, would you? So here we go. Hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40, 45, 50. Hit that like button 60, 65, 70. It's one of the easiest damn things to do in the world. You just use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to look at some of these documents. All right. They're just other sort of random, interesting documents. There isn't really a theme or anything. You know, out of the 300 and whatever documents, I think there's probably only about 60 that are, or 50 that are mildly interesting. The rest of them are sort of procedural things like, hey, we ordered this and we ordered that, but we don't have the answer that came out from what was ordered. Let's see, on 11/12/2022 at approximately 11:40 p.m., Whitecom received a hit and run accident in the area of Pullman, Washington. Multiple PPD officers arrived on the scene and blocked off the area where I think I might have mentioned this on another show, but like a long time ago. I mean, not a long time ago, about 4 days ago or so, where this incident occurred. The location of this incident was near the west entrance to the apartment complex near Kohberger's residence. Somebody was later arrested as the suspect in the case and booked into Whiteman County Jail. The person was booked into Whiteman County Jail on 11/13/2022 at 8:54 a.m. On January 3rd, 2022, KL, the Pullman PD record specialist, sent me a link to pbdevidence.com so I could view and download the videos related to this case. I downloaded 35 videos, which span between 11/12/2022 at 23:41 hours to the suspect vehicle to 11/13/2022 at 3:25 a.m. The majority of the videos were in the area of where the suspect vehicle was eventually located, Northeast California Street. I provided the downloaded video to Detective Mowry so he could upload them to MPD evidence server. I later viewed the videos. I did not see a vehicle matching Kohberger's vehicle in any of the videos on Brandy Way or in the videos near Northeast California Street. The longest video recorded on Brandy Way starts at 23:43 hours. That's sort of interesting. Like there was an event there, and Kohberger was moving around during this time, so maybe he would have randomly been picked up on one of these cameras that people had. Hey, you guys, but what's making tonight so difficult? We're really struggling again tonight. Have my words mean something. It's like I need the support on the channel on a nightly basis. Should be very simple with 582 people. Let's see. Yeah, so they're captured. There's all this video available. Chris Engel told me Northeast Brandy Way was cleared by 11/13/2022 at 12:30 hours. So it was cleared, I guess, by noon. And then it says this included the west entrance to the apartment complex, which had police tape across the entrance. The east entrance to the apartment was still available for access to the complex. While reviewing Kohberger's cell phone data extraction, I located a screenshot of the Whiteman County Jail roster information. The last modified date time for the image was 11/13/2022. This image was taken. I wonder if they were thinking maybe that guy had something to do with it. In Kohberger's Chrome tab history on his phone, I located where he searched Google for broadcastify.com listen feed, Pullman Police and Fire Dispatch Live. I mean, that's crazy. And that was on 11/13 at 12:26, which seemed almost identical up here. They cleared the scene at 12:30, and then, no, that's AM. So this is while that incident was happening. While there were cops out there, he was listening to that feed. Man, I mean, what a perfect day for him to have called it off, but he didn't do it. Hey, thanks, Ralph, David, and D. Rich, 83rd. Look, they have a wave symbol up there, you guys. You see that? Seems like the waves are unheated these days. There's definitely would have blood on him, given the brutality of the crime. Yeah, he could have blood. I mean, he should have some blood on him, but it doesn't have to be like everybody says. And a detective just recently, in this case, said the same thing that I've said to you guys all the time. It really just kind of depends on how you're doing it. I mean, when you're stabbing somebody over and over again, you're going to get some, like, cast off as you're pulling the blade back again, things like that. But he doesn't necessarily have to have arterial spray on him. If he just depends on the angle he's killed the people at and where they're at. Like if they're laying on the bed and he, stabs him in the neck or something, it would go out onto the bed and stuff, and he wouldn't get a lot on him. So he may have intentionally tried to get as little on him as possible, and then obviously he would have taken that off at the end and put it into some, like a plastic bag of some sort, and then put it into the vehicle. But don't let D. Rich's wave get ignored up there, you guys. I know, remember that? I have said that since the very beginning. People think, when they watch the movie, like Sissy Spacek, like this image right here, right? They think like that's what somebody looks like in the movie Carrie, right? Like, oh wow, after you do something like that, your entire body is just soaked, That just sort of seems like what people think you would look like, and it's just not accurate at all. I mean, Jodi Arias, she killed Travis Alexander, and she didn't have stuff all over. And she had there was blood on the ground, but she didn't have blood all over herself. Thanks, Dixie Hippie.
I can't believe you had Gray on the show, Vinny. I'm never watching again.
I kind of miss Vinny. Vinny is a great, you might not, it's hard for these guys to have all the accurate information all the time because they're covering so many different cases. But Vinny is very skilled at what he does. I mean, he could make like a toaster falling off a counter seem like the most interesting thing in the world. And he's able to keep a conversation going, I don't know. He when I was on there twice recently, and he's on vacation. Hey, thanks, Jack's SD or Jack SD. Right, it was dried blood, so he wasn't sure what it was. And then he immediately figured out in his mind what was happening, and he told everybody to get out. See, there's a lot of stuff that's all filled in now. Like, why don't you guys throw out some questions that you have? Because a lot of the stuff's answered now. So if you have any questions, throw them out there. I do have Q&A in there. But this was an interesting one because it shows that Kohberger actually was using Broadcastify, and now it shows you that he is aware of that and may have been monitoring even Moscow and realized there was nobody there, so wanted to do his drive-by when there was no cops so he could look at it one more time. He did not go there to look for his knife sheath, okay? If for those out there who think, Kohberger's an idiot, but he's not that stupid. I mean, who in the hell would drive back? He knew he was missing that knife sheath because, my opinion is he left it there intentionally as a calling card. But even if he left it there accidentally, he knew it was missing right when he left the house. So why would he go back at like 7 or 8 in the morning, or 7 or 6 on on that day of the week? I think it's a Sunday, right? So why wouldn't you do that? So it'd be, but he didn't do that. He drives over there at 9 where you'd think it'd be teeming with cops and people walking around. He just went back to observe it like somebody, like a person who sets a fire, they go back and watch. Hey, thanks, Get Smart Agent. Dun, 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 how's that go? Dun, 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 dun. I remember the intro to that with the door slams on his face. Yeah, I was a kid when I would watch that. Love watching your show, Gray. Really appreciate your hard work. Well, thank you. Some nights it doesn't feel like it's just sort of a weird feeling. That was a fun show. The elevator phone booth. Yeah. That was good. Let's see. Did we find out? Yeah, when people set a fire, they go back and they want to look at it. And why in the hell would Kohberger go back there at 9 in the morning? And you know what? We know he didn't go back to the house. You know how we know that? Does everybody know how we know he didn't go back to the house at 9 in the morning? because it wasn't on that camera. 112 King Road. It wasn't on there. He didn't go back into the house. That's the only way to get in there is through that driveway. I guess he could have parked and walked somewhere, but yeah, he didn't though because he was driving around. Right, there's no camera footage, right? Well, she is the target. Yeah, he was just there observing the house. Yeah. I know, I saw your comment during the other. Yeah, well, I guess the prosecutor said he thinks it's one of the two girls up there, but he can't be absolutely certain. But there's other evidence that other agencies have that they believe that it's Madison Mogen. You know, these guys just, they're always doing their lawyering comments. Let's see. Some people think fire. Yeah, it's not a. Look at the fireworks sound. I don't know what that was. I think it was misinterpreted because she said it was a loud boom to Dylan. Dylan said, "Oh yeah, she told me it was a loud boom." Bethany. All right, and guess what? That sounds exactly like a loud thud, right? A loud thud, a loud boom. That might have been what she was hearing. So we don't know what the light she's talking about is. And maybe she just woke up and that's what she remembers. I don't know. I remember that one incident where there was a car at 1112 King Road where somebody tried to get into that. Actually, they didn't try. They got into her vehicle and took like underwear or something. I mean, that's sort of interesting. But wouldn't they have been on the camera? Why didn't their camera record that person? That camera is a 24/7 camera. It's not motion activated. It's not a stun gun. Yeah, it's not a stun gun. It's none of that shit. People say it's a stun gun because it's sensationalistic and it sounds really cool. Ooh, a stun gun! It doesn't make any sense for the case. That's why it's not a stun gun. It just has no... there's no indication that there was a stun gun used. Kohberger didn't even go downstairs. He left the house right after, he kills Xana and Ethan. There's a loud thud because of that, and then he goes out. He never went down. I just said that. He never went downstairs. Why would it be a camera flash? I think she just is thinking she saw something that she didn't see. Like she was probably asleep, woke up, and then just kind of remembered how things were, and sort of pieced things together in her mind. She was woken up from a dead sleep. So how did she just? There's a boom sound, and she all of a sudden sees a light. I don't know. He's holding it with two hands, so we talked about that. And in your last premiere or something. Yeah, she was holding something. She said she went like this and then came back together again. And she was apparently holding it with both hands. That's why I don't think it's a knife. It sounds kind of odd. Like, why would you hold a knife in front of you like that with two hands? I don't know. It seemed like it was a container of some sort. Kohberger knows the answer to that. I wonder if they'd ask him. I mean, that's the thing. Those are the questions. Well, what were you holding when you exited? And I would have told Kohberger, listen, this is how this is going to work. You're going to tell us what happened, and if anything that you tell us is contradictory to the evidence in any way, then the deal's off. All right? So here you go. Go ahead. And, you have to think on the fly. He doesn't get to sit around and prepare anything. And let's just see where it goes. Yeah, they didn't ask him anything. Well, you guys, we're currently at 40% right now, so. All right, so we did that one, and let's go on to the next. On January 24th, 2023, I applied for a warrant for the user subscriber information and user data associated with TikTok account of Brian Kohberger with any of the following identifiers. I don't know. Those must have been usernames or something. On January 25th, 2023, the warrant was granted and signed by Magistrate Megan Marshall with 7 days to serve the legal process. January 26, 2023, at approximately 8:30 hours, the warrant was served via the TikTok law enforcement portal. I received an email shortly after the submission, confirmation the receipt of the request and assigning the internal reference number blank. I'm not sure why we can't know what the internal reference number is. On March 3rd, 2023, I received an email from TikTok stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. I logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at Moscow Police Department. The email received from TikTok also stated, please note that after a diligent search, we are unable to locate any TikTok accounts associated with the identifiers, and this must be Kohberger's email addresses, because one of them is the sales there. In reviewing the contents, I found the account subscriber information. In searching for the geolocation of the IP addresses, I found it returned to NordVPN. Wow, so he's using a VPN out of Seattle, Washington. NordVPN had been located as a installed app on Kohberger's phone. Boom. So they were looking for the IP address of these accounts that were on TikTok. And are these TikTok accounts? See, here's the thing. Here's what I think, you guys. I think that these accounts right here were looking at Madison's account, and then I guess maybe images that were on Kaylee's account that had Madison in them. But they can't prove without a doubt that it's Kohberger because of that VPN there. They can just say, well, it looks like it is. And so they're not willing to even say something like that in the public. In searching for the geolocation of the IP address that was associated with, so it said, let's see which one they did find. In reviewing the contents, I found the account subscriber information of, now we don't know like what names are put on there. Maybe it's Brian Kohberger, I don't know. In searching for the geolocation of the IP that exists, whatever the number is, it would be right there. I found it returned to NordVPN out of Seattle, Washington. NordVPN had been located as an installed app on Kohberger's phone. No information was provided by TikTok regarding messages sent or received, followers, or following accounts or user-created content. A warrant return receipt and affidavit were completed, and these documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. A copy of the receipt was sent to a TikTok law enforcement account, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. So right, well, I was told by somebody out there that it's a female. Yeah, I mean, who knows, D-Rich? He could have, I think he gave him treats, but I mean, where's the dog receipt going to be? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even think I don't know if he gave him anything. Maybe Murphy just ran up there because he could sense that there was somebody up there. We don't know. But I guess why didn't he come back when he was called like he normally does? Yep, we still only got the one coffee. We're still only at about 40%, you guys. So I guess I'll try it again. If you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, we want to have a good end of the month here. We're on the 27th. And, yeah, see what we can do. All right, here's another one. Meeting with Spokane County Medical Examiner on June 7, 2023. I reached out to Dr. I think we've read this, but that was the first night, so now I want to read it without trying to just quickly zip through everything. Yeah, I said on the show yesterday, there was obviously a struggle in the room, right? Yeah, but I mean, when you say the light bulb, how it can't, because the light bulb going off in Xana's room is not going to make a light in Bethany Funk's room. She would not see that at all, okay? But I think that there was a fight in the living room with the beer pong table, for sure. Yeah, I just don't believe what... I actually just think what Bethany remembers seeing regarding the light isn't something that happened. I think she might have been having a dream with lights in it and went, oh, and woke up and to a booming sound and sort of associated whatever she was dreaming with. It just doesn't make any sense. There's no sense to be made of the light coming under her door. No, I don't have COVID. I have this machine over here that pumps out cold air, and for some reason in the evening, it plugs up my nose. I have no idea why. It doesn't do it all day when I'm here. It might be that I need to take my allergy medication at a different time, like maybe at like 5 at night. That way it's sort of effective instead of worn off completely by the time my show starts. Yeah, so the light going over in Xana's room, it's literally completely across the way from the house. And, I mean, it would have to go through the ceiling in the, because her room is right above the storage room. So somehow it'd have to, like, shoot through the ceiling and then beam down the hallway. I don't know. No, she wouldn't be able to tell you that it was a K-bar knife. She could say it was a possibly a fixed blade. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, I guess there was also some wounds from the little part of the handle that sticks out. Like he stabbed so far it went all the way into the finger guard part. I just explained it though. Bethany wouldn't be able to see the light, Zozo. She couldn't see it from her room. Yeah, sure, it could go in the living room, but we're not talking about Dylan's room. It's Bethany Funk. She's down on the first floor of the house. I mean, if it was Dylan's room, sure. Light bulb, maybe she could have seen something. That's possible, but it was Bethany Funk, who's actually on the first floor, who was sleeping, and woke up and, oh, I saw a light. I just don't, that's just one of those anomaly things that we're never really... It's just us here tonight. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Derek. It's almost like a I don't know, it feels weird. Yeah, shot through the ceiling, through the hallway. Yeah, it just isn't possible. Maybe, but there was no, remember we've gone through the walkthrough. Bethany Funk's on the first floor down the hall to the left. There's no opening to her room, I mean, I guess what you could say is if somehow the light bulb made it into the living room and then dropped down the stairs and then the light bulb in the midair did like a 40-degree angle and sort of, well, no, because it can't do that because there's no, it's not open there. It's just there's a wall at the stairs. Hey, thanks, City Girl Glam. Thank you for all you do. Your info is top notch. Happy to also see you on Vinny too. Yeah, I like when Vinny's on there, you know. Like at least I'm not called Gary, you know. And I respond to Gary. My diploma from college said Gary on it, you know. So of course I did a U-turn right at the end of the stage and said, hey, what is this? Well, thank you for spelling my name for me correctly all those years, and you're graduating me anyways. I mean, am I not making any sense regarding like how Bethany can't see the anything from upstairs? Right? They sent me a new one, but I'm just saying. Just right. Like, I mean, we could just look at it like, let me just show you it like this. Watch. Oh, that was right. See, look at right here. Watch. See, Xana's room. Actually, I'm gonna go and yeah, I think we're in Dylan's room now, so I think I need to go back here. Yeah, right there. That's probably a good one. So that's Xana's room over there, right? So let's say something hit the floor and flashed. Well, Bethany Funk's room is through the floor right there. She's right below that area right there. That's where her room is. In fact, this little stairwell slant where the stairs is, you can see in her room. So this is her room, and she's right down there. Now, there's a wall that goes straight down, so even if you dropped a light bulb down here, I guess if it bounced and then went, you know, like, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is if it fell down and then bounced and then sort of went into the hallway that's down there and went, then she might be able to see something. So, I mean, you know, what was on the beer pong table? I guess there's a possibility that the beer pong table apparently was right around in this area. And let's say something fell off of it, bounced down the stairs, and then somehow exploded and made a flash at the bottom. And then she happened to see that under her door. I guess there's a possibility, but very remote. Now, we don't have 3,000 people watching here, by the way. Yeah, it's doing the Bart Simpson haircut again. Thanks, Minnie Mouse. All right, we made it over 50%. Now, I would love to know about that ID in the glove. But you know what? Guess what? That'll be completely redacted. But, man, who wouldn't want to know who that ID on that glove is? Because I think that was one of his, when he would break in and entering and practicing, he would do that. Let's see, on June 28th, 2023, I removed item 733 from the lockbox in MPD. Detectives brought it to me to Spokane. June 28th, 2023, at approximately 10:30 a.m., myself, along with Bill Thompson, Ashley Jennings, Jeff Nye, and Ingrid Beatty, met with Dr. probably Singh at a Spokane County Medical Examiner office. Dr. Singh had pre-selected several photos from each victim to go over with us so she could describe the shape of a weapon which would have caused the injuries. I removed the K-bar knife from the sealed package and showed it to Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh stated the shape and size of the K-bar knife was consistent as being the weapon which could have caused the injuries on all four of the victims. So it doesn't sound like there's like this other weapon. They said, I think it was Steve said that whatever made the marks in her mouth had stripes on it. Well, isn't that what the handle of a K-bar knife looks like? You know, like, doesn't it have, let's see, handle of, yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's exactly what that looks like. So maybe he, like, pressed that down in her mouth or something. I mean, who knows, right? But there it is, right there. That's the USMC knife, too. So it does have stripes on it. I don't know. Hey, welcome, Anna. What is that? Anastasia Gates. Man, who put a 1 if you love the way these new names are. My God, it's just like the worst. And there is in America. Thank you, Gray. Your coverage is consistently outstanding from start to finish, from Delphi to Idaho and beyond. Yeah, cool. I'll get back to uploading the Delphi transcripts, but this stuff sort of takes priority over that. But I'm going to definitely put them all out there as, what do you call it, like an archive of the actual trial transcripts read by, you know, it's pretty easy to understand that voice reading it, so. I don't know how he would hold it in his hand and then, like, put that in her mouth or something. I don't know how that would work. It just doesn't, you know, all we know it had a stripe on it. You know, that's it. It was like a striped object that was in her mouth. It seems like it would get pretty awkward trying to jam the handle of a knife in somebody's mouth, and then you're trying to hold on to the blade part to keep it, you know, it's like, how would that work? I mean, he could have just sort of like had it in his hand and sort of just pressed it in her mouth and just held it there. City Girl Glam 9805. If his fist was on her mouth, he could work knocking out teeth. Yeah, maybe he like punched her and it broke her teeth, and then he just sort of jammed the handle in her mouth too or something, or whatever. I mean, we don't know what it is. And we can guess all day long and try to everybody come up with their own thing and go over it 100 times, and nobody's going to have a really good chance of being accurate. Katie Bray 9 1112 camera was purchased just a couple of months prior. Is that in the documents? I remember talking about that camera. Yeah, well, good for them. Thank God. I think it's a 20. I don't think it's a motion activated camera. I think it just continually runs, and that's why they were able to get the different shots of the trees and the, you know, that isn't enough motion often to set those things off, but they got it all, so. No, but how would it get down to the room of Zozo? How would it get down to Bethany's room? Could they have let outside? What do you mean, like outside the house? Oh. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is even that's kind of complicated too, because there's this little thing on the roof that blocks it's like it sticks out. Here, let's just open this up. Hold on a second. Yeah, but I think it's possible the light thing is just in her head. I know that she said it, so we have to try to figure it out, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense to any known fact that's out there. And she said, oh, it sounded like a firework, but she told Dylan it sounded like a loud boom. And it just could just be that, you know, what if the light just went out in the hallway or something and it flicked off or whatever? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense no matter how you look at it. And we can't figure it out. Yeah, that would be cool, what he got at Albertsons. Nope, no words on the FOIA request. And it sounds like the Idaho State Police, isn't that what he just said in that interview? Maybe they'll have a website similar. That'd be sweet. Yeah, we'll see if we can get some more coffees or something, man. We just... Right there. Alright, I'm going to go into the... open up the 3D model really quick so you can see this. Alright. So here is Xana's room, right there, and Bethany Funk's room's right down here with a full-on. Let's see what happened. Can I just open that up or? Now see how there's stairs that go up and there's a wall there, so that even blocks. Like if something fell down the stairs, it would have to go into the hall over here to have even a chance of having a light affect Bethany in her room over there. So if something happened in this room and a light bulb or a lamp fell over, it's almost impossible for anything to have made it to the to Bethany's room. And so again, a little bit ago, that's the wall where Ethan was right there. And that's why there's like blood coming down right there. And you can kind of see them. There he is right there on the bed there. Yeah, just even if there, let's say there was something out of her window and it was coming down. I don't know how it would get inside the hallway to have her see something under her door. I don't know. Sure, I mean, that's what I was just saying a minute ago. Maybe a light bulb exploded or something in the hallway or went out and went, you know. That's all I can come up with. But it's just, it's nothing nefarious. Let's put it, I mean, it's not, has nothing to do with, well, it could be, the sound is nefarious, but the light, it's not a taser. It's not any of those things that everybody wants it to be because it's more entertaining. Dr. Singh said he pre-selected several photos from each victim to go over. I removed the K-bar knife, and he said that it was, you know, the weapon was consistent. The wounds were consistent with the K-bar knife. And then Singh described how some of the wounds had 2 points on each end, and how some wounds had a point on one end. So you would think that it means that wow, it's 2 different weapons. However, the tip of a K-bar knife has 2 points, and if it only went in, let's say a ½ inch or an inch, there would be 2 points on it. But if it got in further, it would make a flat side and then one pointed side. Except I was always thinking, well, why doesn't the point, though, on the initial entry sort of win the day on the flat side? Like it would still go in there, but it would sort of just stretch the skin on the flat side. And wouldn't there still be a point once you pulled it out? It seems like it would still maintain the point, but I gotta admit I don't really know exactly how skin works, I guess, like that. I removed the K-bar knife from the sealed package and showed it to Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh stated the shape, yeah, that worked. And then Dr. Singh described how some of the wounds had 2 points on either end and how some wounds had a point on one end and a square shape at the other end. Dr. Singh explained how the K-bar knife could have created these wounds depending on the depth of the injury. Dr. Singh explained the tip of the knife, having sharp edges on either side, would show a wound with the points on either end. Dr. Singh described a deeper wound would show a point on one side and a square on the other, but you would think that as it was coming in, it would create the 2 points and it would still have the second point even after putting in, because the other side isn't sharp, so wouldn't it just sort of stretch out the point that it existed? Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, we know that. I'm sure he wasn't great at martial arts. He probably told everybody he was, but Dr. Singh pointed out some of the wounds had marks that were as consistent with the guard of the K-bar knife. So it went all the way into the guard, like 6 inches. Dr. Singh described how the wounds could look different depending on the skin stretching. Well, there you go. That's kind of what I was thinking. The dynamic of the situation and the time, the angle or position the knife was in when it was inserted and or removed, and how victim was moving or not moving at the time. Dr. Singh described some injuries depicted that the stretch of the weapon itself and the force used would have been great. Yeah. Well, not a lot of detail there, but something. All right, you guys. I can't dance a jig anymore. I'm too old. But I'm trying to see if we can somehow reach the goal tonight. We've been doing pretty good, but tonight's one of those slow ones. For no particular reason. We're still at about 58% or so. On Wednesday, September 13th, 2023, FBI Tech Specialist T forwarded me tip serial number 9237. Hey, thanks, Linlow, 5792. The tip was called in on August 22nd, 2023. So this is, that's around the time that Kaylee, I guess they say in one article that she moved in August. But her sister was thinking maybe it was like June, I don't know, June or July or something. The tip was called in on August 22nd, 2023 to the FBI tip line. The caller advised the call taker he saw a person whom he thought was Kohberger at 1122 King Road on 2 occasions in July of 2022. I mean, he was there. I mean, that's when the pool party, Now, this person, probably Tom, let's say. Tom advised he came to 1122 King Road as he was a real estate agent looking for property for clients. Tom stated on both occasions he saw Kohberger and Kohberger's father. So that's kind of weird. I mean, so maybe this is totally bogus, but on Wednesday, September 13th, 2023, I called Tom on the telephone after verifying his identity via TLO. Tom was a licensed real estate agent living in Florida. I asked him to relate to me what he reported to the FBI. Tom told me he drove his nephew, Tom, to the western U.S. from Florida as his nephew was dying from cancer. Tom advised he came through Moscow and saw a sign for property for sale, so he followed the sign to 1122 King Road to look at the property for clients. Was that for sale, though? While he was parked out front, Tom said a brown Jeep-type pickup pulled into the parking lot, driven by an older man with a red beard. Tom said he then saw a male he was sure was Kohberger get up from the back seat. Tom and the driver exchanged small talk, and Tom said he walked to the back door to speak to the tenants, but no one answered. Tom said he left the area with his nephew shortly after that. Tom said he returned to 1122 King Road on his way back to Florida. Tom said he was parked in front of the house when a white car which he described as the same as they've shown on television, drive by the house. Tom said he was sure the driver was Kohberger's father, and Kohberger was in the passenger seat. Tom said the vehicle sped away and he did not see where it went. Well, did Kohberger's dad come with him when he moved to Florida? Did he, to Pullman? Hey, thanks, Sandy Shirley. It said to support channel, click the $ on the R button, chat, pick 1. Please support. Well, thanks for the effort there, Sandy. And thanks for your super chat. Well, when did his father drive with him to Pullman? I mean, that'd be pretty weird, wouldn't it? No, but I mean, that's when the pool party was. His dad was still hanging out in town when the pool party? Because he didn't show up there until after the pool party. Huh. That's weird. I asked Tom if he remembered when this took place. Tom asked me what month the homicide occurred. Hey, thanks, Crosby and Sandy Shirley and Linlow. Tom then told me his nephew passed away a short time after he returned from his trip. I asked Tom when his nephew passed away, and then Tom told me his nephew passed away 8 years ago. Wait a second. I told him it was November, to which he replied it must have been around then. Tom previously told the FBI he was in Moscow in July. Tom then told me his nephew passed away a short time after he returned from his trip. I asked Tom when his nephew passed away. Tom told me his nephew passed away 8 years ago. So that means, is this guy like... That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I thanked Tom for his time and told him I would call him with further questions if needed. His dad told a neighbor to invite Brian to things. Yeah, so his dad drove with him. Did he drive with him to Pullman back in the day? I don't know anything about that. Yeah, it doesn't seem to make sense, you know. And I don't think he would have been here, but also this guy seems like he's kind of out of it a little bit. And by the way, I don't think 1122 King Road was for sale. It might have been a long time ago, remember? And then they did a rebuild. Because this part here is kind of concerning, which makes it doesn't seem like it's right, if you guys were paying attention or not. But it said, I asked Tom if he remembered when this took place. Tom asked me what month the homicides occurred. And then Tom goes, oh, I told him November, to which he replied, it must have been around then. Then Tom previously told the FBI he was in Moscow in July, so he's already changed the story. Tom then told me his nephew passed away a short time after he returned from the trip to Moscow, right? And then this officer said, well, when did your son die? And he goes, 8 years ago. So that means he was in Moscow 8 years before, if he ever even went there. So this is probably completely unrelated. So I guess that means what we were just talking about is... I don't think so. He said 8 years. At this time, there is nothing to corroborate Tom's statement based off inconsistency in his timeline. Further investigation will be completed if necessary. Yeah. See? Yeah. That's how it goes. Okay, this one is on Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. I met with WSU student, hereto referred to as, I don't know, it says L, In reference to this case, I was accompanied by FBI agent Hilly for this interview, as well as an FBI interpreter who was present via phone call. And we'll just say Lou is from maybe Thailand or something. This is a summary of my interview with Lou and is not a verbatim representation of the interview. The interview was recorded and attached to this case digitally. Lou was interviewed once previously by the FBI agent in December of 2022. Lou was a former teaching assistant with Kohberger and shared an office with him, and it's not that girl, it's a different person, with him for the fall semester, because this is a guy. I began by asking Lou to tell me how he met Kohberger. I think we've gone over this one before. Lou stated they were both TAs for the criminology program at WSU and shared an office in Wilson Short Hall. Lou considered Kohberger a friend and stated he thought Kohberger was very intelligent but also selfish. Lou said Kohberger would often mislead him when it came to their shared work and would have Lou complete work meant for Kohberger. Lou said Kohberger came to his dorm room on one occasion around the time of the homicides. Lou was unsure on exact date. After Lou asked him for a ride to class, Lou also added Kohberger began to talk much more than usual after the homicides. Lou characterized Kohberger's conversations as those coming from someone who wanted to vent. Lou stated Kohberger attempted to use his authority as a TA to inappropriately interact with female students. Lou stated he thought Kohberger wanted a girlfriend and added they talked about Kohberger wanting a girlfriend on many occasions. Lou said Kohberger told him he might lose his TA position over an issue with Dr. S. Kohberger asked Lou to help fight the allegations, but Lou stated he refused to help Kohberger. Lou characterized Kohberger as a dishonest person. To support this, Lou stated he spoke to Kohberger in late December of 2022, and Kohberger said he was packing his bags to catch a flight back to Pennsylvania. Lou later learned Kohberger had been back in Pennsylvania for some time, so they must have talked on the phone. And maybe Kohberger just lied about that so that the conversation wasn't about the car. You know, like the white Elantra. Oh, white Elantra. Ooh, wait, the white Elantra. You know, so he tried to, oh yeah, I flew back, and then there's no conversation about a car. L later learned Kohberger had been back in Pennsylvania for some time and drove back with his father. Lou then told us about some injuries he witnessed on Kohberger's face and hands. I think that part's pretty interesting. Although, you know, we don't see any injuries on Kohberger's face in that selfie he took, right? Dishonest person. To support this, Lou stated he spoke. Yeah, we did that. Lou then told us about some injuries he witnessed on Kohberger's face and hands. Lou was unsure of the date, but stated he thought he noticed the injuries on two separate occasions in October and November of 2022. Lou stated one injury was large scratch on Kohberger's face. Yeah, I didn't see that. Lou described as looking like the scratches from fingernails. Lou said he also saw wounds to Kohberger's knuckles on two separate occasions. When Lou asked Kohberger about what happened to him, well, this must have been, I mean, when would this have been? He doesn't know the actual, it was in November and October and November, but, Kohberger replied he had been in a car accident. Lou also stated Kohberger was frequently 20 minutes late to their classes. I asked Lou what he and Kohberger would talk about. Lou said Kohberger liked to discuss his area of study, which was criminal decision making and burglary type crimes, which he would do often. S.A. Hilly and I advised Lou to reach out if he wished to add anything to what he told us, and concluded our interview. Yeah. Anyways, I got to go use the restroom, but we're currently, let's see, where are we at? We're like $90 short of reaching the minimum goal. Isn't that crazy? I just let everybody know that's where we're at, so. Can we do it? Who knows? I guess we'll see. I gotta go blow my nose out. So I'm gonna play this music this time. Right, we only got 7 new channel memberships tonight. It'd be great. There's a lot of people in here that have the names are white. It'd be a good night to gift some memberships to people. If you can do that, that'd be great. Let's see. Now we're on to this last one here. On Wednesday, March 13, 2024, I received an email from Captain Blaker who still receives voicemail tips reference this case. Captain Blaker sent me 2 tips for additional follow-up. The first tip was called in by Kay. Stated she thought Kay something, and then with a C as the last name. Let's just pretend it's Kupchak. Why, I don't know. Yeah. Now, don't ever come back, Bundy Data. What a loser. Alright, let's see. Thanks, Krazy. Hey, look at that. Sharon Gornick. What's your matching challenge? What is it? What is Sharon Gornick's matching challenge? What do you got? That'd be awesome on a night like this. Hey, freaks, I have a matching challenge for you. Alright, you guys. Is anybody up for this? Sharon Gornick, it'll double everything, I guess, right? Is that what she's going to do? Let's see. What is it? Let's face it, there's only so much you can take, Bundy Data. I don't even know who the hell you are, man. Never talked to you in my life. All right, what is it? It doesn't seem like a great chance, but let's see what it is. Sharon, what is it? Only so much you can take. What a loser. God. I mean, that's somebody that gets triggered easily. What, Caligal? Maybe we'll go, yeah, that's got to be a C. I will match what is given now to the end of the show tonight. You see that, you guys? It's up to you, I guess. You know, it's up to you guys. Whatever you guys can come up with, she'll match it. I mean, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? Alright, so this is her challenge here. I wish you would said that at the beginning of the show. I guess then it would have worked. Yeah, it was already kind of dying down dramatically. So it's hard to say. But yeah, I mean, that's a really generous offer. So let's see what happens. But as you can see, not one soul is picked up on it. Let's see. Yeah, we got the Bart Simpson haircut thing again. Notice how now we're back at normal, 573. She wasn't logged in until now, Caligal. Just have you ever been able to just sort of interpret what people are meant to say just by the context? Pretty simple. All right, there's M10. Yeah, that's now we're at 6, I guess. A whole bunch of documents. Well, there was 315 of them. Now we're just going over a few more tonight. Yeah, we shouldn't have been confused. It's just using common sense and, you know. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, on Wednesday, March 13th, 2024, Blaker, who still received voicemail tips, referenced this case. Captain Blaker sent me 2 tips for additional follow-up. The first tip was called in by, we'll just go with the last name, Kupchak. Kupchak stated she thought she had matched with Kohberger in September of October of 2022 on Tinder. Yeah, so what are we at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 probably. Now, this is where it'd be cool if some people send in like 20s and a 50 or something, because that would double it. Then you'd have like, it'd be you donating 100. So if there's people out there that can afford to do that, we just had a matching, I will match what is given now to the end of the show. There you go. So that's 40. Now we got Zozo. That'd be like $2, and then so M10 is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 27 so far. Very cool. Thanks, Wool Lab. Okay, so I called Kupchak and asked her to elaborate on her voicemail. Kupchak stated she signed up for Tinder in September or October of 2022, but she was able to match with, she wasn't able to match, this is one we read the other night too, but hey, thank you, Michelle Richard. Now that's 37. All right. Let's see. She stated she, so this is that thing where she couldn't match with anybody in her area, so she paid extra money to allow her to move her pin to anywhere in the country to see if she could match with somebody anywhere else. So Kupchak stated she watched with Kohberger a short time later and began to talk to him. Kupchak said Kohberger told her he was a criminology student at WSU. The two communicated via Tinder and planned for Kohberger to visit Kupchak when he came back for Christmas break that year. Hey, look at this, you guys. What do we got here now? We got M10, then Zozo, then, what was that, Kibosh? So probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 27, 37, 47, 52, 53, 54. Hey, 54 so far. That's pretty cool. Wow, it actually, it's getting people to show up there, Sharon Gornick. Thank you. All right, she's matching anything that comes in. Alpha, she was just told the 911 call for an unconscious person. Totally normal. You know what? The whole thing about unconscious person is totally explained now, you guys. There's no mystery about it or anything. Haven't you guys all heard how this all went down? You know, Hunter, the friend of Ethan, went upstairs first. He checked, and he told them to get out, call 911, and tell them there's an unconscious person. Yeah, I haven't seen Leon Littlejohn. I think he's out doing stuff. Oh my God, look at that. Lisa Valenzuela just knocked that one out of the ballpark there. Let's see, we got 104 now. That's pretty crazy. So there was, he's told Dylan and Bethany that there was an unconscious person. So they called the 911 and said, hey, there's an unconscious person, but I think they had a feeling it was worse because of the way Hunter looked. And then the 911 caller made them go up the stairs again, and Hunter kept them back and went into the room and absolutely, I think even checked their pulses and things and was like, oh, man, get out, everybody. He knew that they were dead, and they had been dead. They had rigor mortis already. He just didn't say anything. So all that is on him, which is the right thing to do. He didn't want... Look at Dylan at that... at the sentencing hearing. She absolutely lost it. Could you imagine if you had told her right then? All right, now we're at 114. Is this okay, Sharon Gornick? Is there a limit? There's got to be we'll have a limit. Let's have like a limit on there. And Dylan thought Xana was passed out. And anyways, thank you guys so much. I know tonight's been one of those ones where it's just kind of more difficult than normal. So I appreciate the... wow, 114 now, 124. And make sure to show up on the last night of the month, you guys. We'll still talk about the case, but for the first hour we have a last push, and then we donate. Yeah, I think they total... what were we at now? 124, right? Now there's no limit, she said. Oh, man, you guys... Somebody send in 50K. No, I'm just kidding. So true. Those girls were already coming apart. Now, imagine telling Dylan. He knew what her emotional state was. And actually, Bethany was right there. Same type of thing. Yeah, it makes total sense now. And there's still people that come out and say the same thing. Why would she say there was an unconscious person? Well, because she never actually went into the room and saw. She ran downstairs, and never went up there still never went there. She just went to the top of the stairs, I believe, the last time, and that's it. Is there anybody in here that disagrees with what I just said? Because I want to make sure that you understand. This is in the documents, what I just told you. Yeah, them not playing the 911 call from the get-go, I think actually There's no reason for it at all. And, you might even have a civil case there with the Dylan and Bethany. I feel like that it was just so ridiculous. They should have known it. They should have, law enforcement knows exactly how it all transpired, and they allowed the hate and everything to continue for so long. They would have explained everything. They should have actually just sat there and explained it all. And just said, yeah, okay, there's an individual, named, one of Ethan's friends, and just do the whole story and let everybody know what happened. Early. There's no reason it couldn't have happened. They already had, even like the moment they arrested Kohberger, why couldn't they tell that? How does that affect anything in the case? To come forward and say, we're going to have a press conference about that 911 call. Here's how it went. All right, so Bethany and Dylan, when they got up in the morning, they did fall asleep at some point, but when they got up in the morning, they were still stressed out about, because they weren't able to get a hold of their roommates, and they were too scared to go look. So they called up one of their friends, and the friend's boyfriend came over, and he went upstairs and checked, and he looked in the door, and at first he didn't know what he was seeing. Then he realized that, oh my God, something horrible is here, and he told the other girls to just get out, and they didn't see anything. But he told the girls that somebody's unconscious in there. Right? Then he had them call 911, and it was Bethany Funk. You don't have to say their names. You can say one of the roommates is actually the one that called 911, and then the other roommate got on the phone, and then various other people took over the phone because they weren't as freaked out as Dylan and Bethany. They probably used a different term. And then the 911 operator made the girls and the friend of Ethan go upstairs, and he went into the room again, and he checked their pulses and everything, and he knew that they weren't alive, but he told the girls to get out, and that's how it all went. I mean, why that would have helped so dramatically back then. All right, so what are we at now? We're at 129, right? 129 we're at. Yeah, we have a challenge up on the screen. You see this? She will match any amount that is generated up until the time the show ends. All right, so if there's anybody out there that has a couple extra bucks, you throw in there, she's going to double it, so it's basically as if you doubled it. When it first happened, the police stated there was no immediate danger to the community. Yeah, they always say that. They said that in the Delphi case. What a stupid case to say that in. You have 2 dead girls down a river, nobody's arrested, and they go, yeah, everybody's fine, just, keep doing your barbecues, play around at the river. I don't know what they did. The poor guy saw a bloody mess. Look at, to me, the 2 girl story, I don't know why it's always so, everyone needs to talk about it and try to figure it out. It just makes sense, They didn't know, all they saw was a guy, they heard sounds, it freaked them out, and then they huddled up together, and eventually they sort of just went to sleep. They were talking, they weren't sure what they saw or heard. And then the next day, they couldn't get a hold of anybody, and it kind of freaked them out. And then they call people, they come over. They didn't want to prove to themselves what they thought the reality was. All right, we're at 1:30 now. $135. Hey, thanks, Peggy Bundy. Is that your real last name, Peggy? We got a Ted Bundy that always sends in super chats in here, or not super chats, but coffees, and it's their first super on a live stream. All right. Anyways, let's go back to this document here. So this lady was on Tinder, couldn't find any dates in her area. So then she paid for the access to be able to put her pin anywhere and try to find somebody. And then Kohberger then told me she had a friend who had been murdered in her town a couple of years prior. So let's see. Kupchak then told me she had a friend who had been murdered in her town a couple of years prior. She said she discussed this with Kohberger. The conversation turned to horror movies and which ones Kupchak liked the most. Kupchak told Kohberger she liked the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. To this, Kupchak said Kohberger asked what she thought would be the worst way to die. And Kupchak said she thought it would be a knife. Kupchak said Kohberger then asked her something to the effect of, like a K-bar? Wow. And then Kupchak said she didn't know what that was and had to Google it. Kupchak said she eventually stopped talking to Kohberger because his questions made her uncomfortable. You know what's weird is that's exactly what people said about Papa Rogers. You know, they all said the same thing. His questions and comments made him uncomfortable. Hey, thanks, Christy B. There we go. We're at 145 now. Sharon, look at that. That's crazy. Thank you for your generous offer there. Let's see. Had a lucid nightmare. Yeah, 145, right? Maybe we should, like tonight, I'll donate $500 to Rain. When was the last time we donated money to Rain, huh? How's that sound? Even though we haven't brought in 500 tonight, but, you know, that'd be cool to, you know, do that. And then, you know, we got a couple more nights of the month that'll get us up to 1,000 at that point for the month so far. Want to do it? Here we go. We haven't done Rain in a long time. Rain is violence against women. I mean, could there be a better one to donate to for this? All right, so here we go. Donate. And then right there. Not sure if this... Okay, I got to use sign in over here. Hold on. Alright, here we go. I guess I have to fill some stuff out. How about we'll put everybody's name? Honorary name, we'll put Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, Madison. How about that? I am donating on behalf of me. I mean, it's just. I mean, it says an organization. I don't know what. I don't have an. I mean, I'm Grant Hughes Investigates, I guess. I would like to contribute. No. And there it is. Oh wait, they want my phone number. Alright, so this one, it just came back with this. It said Rain contribution 7/28/2025 at 12:39, so I guess that's East Coast time. $500, and you know, has my address in there that everybody knows already because you can just look it up. And then let's see if it came into an email. Alright, so right there in my email at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if you can see that. Let me Right there. And there it is. You paid $500 US dollars to Rain, July 27th. Now it's local time. And there it is. See? Boom. We always have to prove everything on our show because we got the trolls out there. Thanks, Grant Hughes. Yeah, well, I think it was cool. I mean, Sharon's helping out, and you guys are helping match it. So what were we at? 145? See if you guys can get some more in there. Let's see what happens. Maybe you guys can get it to 200. That'd be sweet, because then Sharon's like, well, I mean, slow down a little bit, okay? Yeah, so we just did $500 to Rain. So now what we got to do is we switch over to here and we fix this thing. Our grand total now since January of 2020 is $152,000 on the money, like that. And then for this year, we are at 23,051. There we go. All right, so that's 1,000 for this month so far. And thanks everybody for. Well, look at Sharon Gornick saying there's no limit, you guys. So this would be a great night if you have the ability to help support the channel. We don't get those offers too many times. Yeah, we gotta take advantage of that if she's gonna do that. So come on, you guys. See if you can find 5s or 10s or 2s or 1. Well, it doesn't really matter. It's all doubled whatever you send it. Sharon's a baller. Oh, come on, Lisa Valenzuela. Jesus. All right, so now we're at 155, right? Is that right? 155. Because it's 145 plus 50, 155. That's amazing. So 195, 197. Oh, very cool, very cool. Kupchak said when Kohberger was arrested, she recognized his photo and remembered the comment about the K-bar knife. Okay, 197, 217. Look at that. Yeah, 217. Wow, thanks guys. Beachfront and Rain, what we just donated to, they actually test backlogs of rape kits. They also, it's like the hotlines that you can call in, etc. It's violence. They fight against violence against women. 217, 218. Yeah, thanks Beachfront Park and Laney Carter and M10. Yeah, 218. All right, so let's see. Right, so I think it's pretty crazy that he brought up a K-bar knife. She recognized his photo and remembered the comment about the K-bar knife. Kupchak said she attempted to call the tip line, but I have been unable to verify whether or not Kupchak called the Moscow Police Department tip line. There is no record of Kupchak calling the FBI tip line. Kupchak said she no longer, I'm just making up the name Kupchak, said she no longer had access to her Tinder profile and could not get her user ID. This would be needed to compare the Tinder records located on Kohberger's phone at this time. Why didn't they just ask her, I guess, various profile names? There's nothing to corroborate Kupchak's tip. The second tip was reference a driver something, or like a something driver, probably a Uber maybe. Does that fit in there? Who thought he saw Kohberger. I called the person and asked him to tell me what he saw. Let's just say Steve said he delivers packages to the area of Pullman where Kohberger's residence during 2022. Steve said he recognized Kohberger and had seen him while delivering packages to the area on prior occasions. Steve told me on the occasion he referenced in his tip, he noticed a man dressed in all black with boxing or elf shoes. I mean, elf shoes? Really? Hey, cool. Royals. Royals. Let's see. Royal Zeal. Count me in. All right. 220. All right. Anyways, he noticed a man dressed in all black with boxing or elf shoes standing on a footpath behind Terview Drive. This footpath provided an unobstructed view of apartment where Steve said the female tenants would be visible through a large window. Steve said, this is on the Pullman campus though. Oh my God, look at that. Derek Sherman and Missy JF. So what does that mean now? We're at 260. All right. Sharon Gornick. All right, here we go. Oh, well, you guys are all amazing. I mean, see, people always wonder, hey, why is Gray, Gray. We wouldn't be able to do all the extra stuff that we do. Like, we've already given $500 to the three, it was Maddie, Kaylee, Xana's charity, and then this month, and then we've already given, like, I think $2,000 to them in prior months. So, we were able to do that and this, and, then obviously my channel needs income to survive, but, at least we're able to do this, and I make it that's sort of like a goal, something that I really try to make sure that we're able to do something at the end of the month. And, I know some people don't like channels that, I try to raise funds, and I'm trying to be able to support the channel and be able to give a lot to, like, 50, last year we did 49,000. We're at 23 this month, and yes, you guys are part of how it happens, because I actually, I make ad revenue, I got channel memberships, I've got the super chats, and all of that together is what allows it to happen. So I try to make a lot of videos that, they don't make a lot of revenue. If your video makes $100, it's good. It takes a long time to make them, but 100's pretty good. And sometimes they get watched, so then might start off making 75, then it makes 125, and then it sort of keeps dropping exponentially, and then it just ends up stopping at some point. Well, thanks, Lisa. Even when the camera panned down. Oh, that was so embarrassing. God, I'm just sitting here and the mods put into this case and others. Hey, cool. Man, look at that. And Zozo was started this little rally off up there. Yeah, the crotch shot when the camera panned. It was so stupid. Like, I had this camera that I'm using right now. It was on, like, it would track you, and it would go with hand gestures. So you go like that, and it goes, and it just. And I guess that's how it is default out of the box. But you have to download the software. And then it also needed a firmware update. And then after that, you just turn off all those things and it becomes a normal gimbal camera. Right, that was crazy. But now it's normal. See how it doesn't move at all? Like, I go over here and it stays right there. I just turned it all off. Let's see. The hand gesture. Yes, there, but that was 2020. I don't think there was an update. Well, this is I don't know. I just bought this camera like a month ago, and I had it with me. I think the first time I ever used it was when I went to Idaho. So it's not even a month old. I don't think. When was I there? I think it was the 29th, so like June 28th and 9th, so almost a month ago. A month ago exactly. Yeah, we're at 260, man. Let's see if we can get up to 300, you guys. That'd be amazing, because she'll match that. Yes, I followed you in the hotel room. Oh, yeah? Wow. Nice. I always wondered if it was normal for Murphy to be sleeping in the same room as Kaylee. Yeah, that's how they did it. Yeah, they slept in the same room. And they didn't let him just roam around. They would, if they were out, they'd have him locked in her room. Oh, in the hotel. Yeah, that's right. Oh, when it was in my hotel room, right. Yeah, when I got up, it would just be like... So I guess I got to get the software over on that computer, too. In case I go on the road again. I'm trying to, like... You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to, like, hook up with, like, some other YouTubers, maybe. For a sort of like a... I don't know, just like an... like a team of some sort. But we all do different things. I don't know. Just kind of looking at it, trying to figure something out. No, not a collab. I mean, it would be sort of like that, but it'd be more like we're all on the same team. I don't like collabing. Like you get somebody, and you know, I don't mind if they want me on their channel. If it's smaller, because I know the cases, but like there's no reason to have them on my show, you know, unless we're like equal. And it's kind of a weird thing about that. Now there's people out there that just seem to be perpetual guests and don't have their own channels. Let's see, the clown. Is he still doing videos on that? Well, if you guys are out there and you know, we're still on the matching system, so this would be the perfect night to double up your. We're at 260. Maybe we can try to get to. Yeah, somehow if we got to 300 somehow, that'd be kind of a nice little round number. But if not, that's cool. You guys are more than generous. Thank you. Face off with the clown. The clown. You couldn't argue with the clown, and I would only do it if he took off his stupid costume with his stupid spiders on his face. Hey, thanks. The real Holly Mack. Is there another person that calls himself Holly Mack and they're not the real one? Came up through the hotline at all before. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? It would be sort of like with Richard Allen. Did he show up in the tips? And he did. They just didn't see it. I think the thing that's bothering me the most about the Delphi case at this point, listening to the trial transcripts, is the footage on the Hoosier Harvest Store. They actually had the car driving by, and you can look at it and go, wow, that's a black Ford Focus. So didn't they know that was a black Ford Focus back in 2017? Didn't the FBI look at it and go, look, that's a black Ford Focus? And then when your first thought, I mean, this isn't even Monday morning quarterbacking here. This is when your first thought, once you said, oh, wow, look, that's a black Ford Focus showing up around just before the girls got there. Wouldn't you look up to see who owns one of those in the town? And then that would have led directly to Richard Allen immediately, because he's the only one that owned one. I mean, that part is just mind-boggling to me. I can't explain that to anybody. I can't make that make sense. It's crazy to me. I don't know how that just, and the jury had to say, have you ever looked up how many people own these vehicles in the area? And at the break, they go, no, we don't know. And then in the break, they looked it up. Oh, wow. Richard Allen's the only one that owns one. What? How come he didn't even... So what did Holly Mack is always taken? Oh, is it? Okay. All right. I have no idea who the clown is. Yeah, well, who would want to know? That guy's brain has quit working years ago. Or at least, you know what? He might be really smart because he's able to trick 300,000 people into believing the bullcrap that he sells. You know, so I don't know. It's all I know is what you all say. Let's see. I know local police here have software to help identify, make a... Yeah, well, I mean, obviously everybody has this. And the FBI was working with them from the beginning. They had to have had the access to the Hoosier Harvest Store video, right? And then wouldn't they go, oh, that looks like a black Ford Focus. Let's look up those. I mean, man, it's just... That's like really simple stuff. Maybe there's something I'm missing that... It's definitely not Monday morning quarterbacking. Don't you agree? I mean, wouldn't you identify the make and model of every vehicle that passed on the camera? Well, yeah. It is. Well, I just mean if he's about, like, it's just about likes and views and ad revenue, then he's a genius, man, because that's what's crazy about it, right? To throw, yeah, I mean, he can't look at himself in the mirror when he goes to sleep at night and think he did a great job. He doesn't think of it like that. Hey, welcome, Missy. All right, well, it looks like we're kind of frozen her up there at 270, but that's a good, I think that's, how about we'll just call it there. Sharon, how's that sound? I think the show's just about over anyways, 2 hours and 48 minutes. Does that sound good? I mean, I don't know if it sounds good or bad, but... Welcome, Missy J. This footpath provided, and yeah, so this is on the Pullman campus. There was somebody that looked like they were also looking at girls on the Pullman campus. It said Steve told me he spoke to the FBI investigators early on, but wanted to make sure the information was passed on. I concluded my phone interview. All right. Well, there you go. I think that'll be the end there, Sharon. No, she didn't go hide. She's in here. She's not hiding. She's just right up there. I just saw her comment. Or she's probably out trying to... My word was and is what I said. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I think the show's just about over anyways, Sharon, so it's been 2 hours and 40 something minutes. I think we had some pretty interesting stuff in there. Went over the articles early on, went back through walked through the house a couple times, went over a whole bunch more documents, etc. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's incredibly generous, Sharon. Thank you. So 270, that is the number. All right. So even if somebody types something in between now and the end, just to make it easy, that's what it is. And thanks, Lisa Valenzuela, for making a big part of that. Appreciate that. First time catching a live. Hey, cool. Pancakes. Did you just get here just now, or have you been here the whole time? Because the show's just about over. I didn't want to disappoint you. Where's the web link for what? Like Safari. Oh, yeah, to be able to... oh, I see. Yeah, you have to go to like YouTube on a browser, not the YouTube app, I guess. I mean, Apple's just all messed up with YouTube. I don't know if they do that intentionally or what the deal is there. Is the IG account that Jack set up. I see. Earlier shows when I get a chance. Yeah, I try to put out videos because usually my videos are sort of like a much more concise, consolidated attempt at, putting the information together. One of these days I'm going to have to go through the whole thing again. With all the new information, the timeline. Whoa! Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen that number before. Well, thank you, Sharon Gornick. Very cool. Look at that, you guys. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, that was the match. She matched everybody else. See that? That was amazing. Thanks, Sharon. Man, that was so kind of you. Thank you. That does for everything you buy on YouTube or... Yeah. And thanks, I'll thank everybody up here. So and in that last part, let's see, I think it started up. I think I've already lost on the screen that portion. So let's see. Hey, here's a membership for Golden Blue. Oh, I'm going to donate. We already did 500, but I'll donate 5 memberships myself since we were lacking, and we'll see if somebody gets one. I don't know who we can't pick who gets the memberships. Just so you know that. YouTube just randomly assigns them. All right. Let's see. God, I feel so much better now that I know my camera isn't going to just start shooting around. There. God, I should have donated myself. Then I could have doubled my own. I think it's almost, well, you get I don't know if that would work. I could have donated $1,000 and then...
If you're having trouble sleeping, you got to stop sleeping on magnesium. I'm Daniel, the founder of Organics Ocean.
Okay. And here we go. So who's that? Golden Blue? Let's see if they get one. 2. Well, you might get one here. Let's see. Nope. But welcome all the other people there. Well, thanks for trying there, Derek Sherman. For her, she said. But she didn't get one. Alright, so thank you to Wisconsin Cat Mom, new member, and then MM4748, super chat, AJack5916, MM4748, Derek Sherman, then HDoc, Derek Sherman 1980, then CRR gifted a membership, then KMTX78, then Turn, I don't know if it's Blue Weed 2240, and then Rita Schaefer, Derek Sherman again, Lacey Rust, Allie Cake gifted a membership, Lisa Leash Smith gifted a membership, then Ralph David, then we had D Rich, Dixie Hippie, Jack SD5916, then Get Smart Agents, then Amy 6528, then Derek Sherman 1980, then Cindy Girl Glam, then Mindy Mouse, Anastasia Gates, In America, Katie Bray 9, then we have Lynn Lowe 5792, Sandy Shirley, Kay Crosby, and Crosby became a new member, and then M10, I guess it's Crosby, not K, it's just Crosby, or Crozy probably, then M10, and then Zozo, I think this is right when hey, thanks, Derek. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Didn't get one either. Did you make yourself available for sure? So this is right when Sharon made her deal. Then we had M10, then Zozo, and KBSH, and then Wool Lab, and then Michelle Richard, then Crozy, Save Ferris, then Dixie Hippie, and then Lisa Valenzuela with a cat eye during this because she was going to match everything that came in, and she did. Lynn Lowe 5792, then The Real Holly Mack, then Mike Weber, then Timothy Cecil, and Peggy Bundy, and Christy B57, and Laney Carter, and M10, and Beachfront Park, and Royal S, I don't know how to say that, just Royal we'll say. Royal, and then Derek Sherman, and Missy each did 20 apiece there, then The Real Holly Mack, then Missy F became a new member, and then Sharon Gornick matched all of those and sent 270 in, and then Derek Sherman sent 5 in, and then I got 5 memberships, and then Derek bought 5 more too, and that person didn't get one. Yeah, Golden Blue, there's I guess there's a waiting list or something. Did you make yourself available for sure, Golden Blue? Anyways, well, come back another time. People gift a lot of memberships here, so tonight we did 20, and that's kind of slow recently for us. We usually get like 35 or 40. So, you have a good shot at getting one if you come back again. What does what mean? Let's see. So weird. YouTube is about who gets the gifted membership. Yeah, I don't know why they choose that. Well, you have to make yourself available. Oh yeah, you have to you have to go up and click on, the thing that Derek just sent up there. I think if you click on that, you can make yourself, I don't know how, maybe somebody can explain it to her. So I don't think she was available to get a free membership. You have to say that you want a free membership. by going up and clicking on one of the super chats or the memberships up there that's already been done, and then you have to allow gifting. So maybe that's why you didn't get one. Oops. Okay, well, we just told you, so go try to figure out how to do it. Make sure you get signed up for it. All right. And then also we had a one coffee by Judy. And thanks, Sharon Gornick. That was very kind of you. It made a big difference tonight. Really appreciate it. That was, I mean, a huge. I mean, really, it got us to the goal and then some. And you know, then I basically donated the whole $500, which is you have to bring in $750 to bring in $500. So, well, maybe not quite. Maybe $720 or something. Oh my God, Sharon Gornick just gifted 5 more memberships. And we got Laura, Rebecca, Juju, Catton, the chat, and BCJ. Wow, well, thank you. Well, I think pretty soon, probably this next week, so I think there's going to be documents that come out all over the place. Like, I guess the Indiana State Police, we got the Pennsylvania Police, maybe the FBI will release stuff at some point. We've got, and also the court documents. The judge is going through the court documents. So those are all going to show up out on that site, I think. Doesn't that make sense? That they're just going to keep adding files to the place where they upload documents? The website? What's going on, Lisa? Is that a flashback? Thank you. So you'll probably see me joining Avon next month. I keep receiving memberships from channels I haven't even visited for, let's say, a month. Yeah, but that means you made yourself available. Or wait, do you have to do it on the channel? Or is it just in general, you make yourself available, and anywhere you go, you might become... Yeah, I think you have to make yourself available on that channel. So you must have been there and liked it, so you know... What's going on, Lisa? Did you just win a Powerball? I don't know if it's in general. So you can just say you're available, and anywhere you go, you get one. Wow, that's crazy. That's kind of stupid. Actually, they should do it where you literally say, "Hey, I want one here." Anyways, thank you, Lisa. Do you think they will release the video interviews with him? I bet they do at some point, because there's no litigation or anything coming up. It's just over. There's no appeals. There's nothing. So there's nothing to protect. You know, it's just I mean, private stuff like his psychology stuff. I don't need to know that anyways. I thought it was for channel you signed up for. That's what I always thought. I mean, that seems kind of weird that you could just be browsing along and show up to some live about, you know, mukbang or whatever the hell that term is, and all of a sudden, hey, you're a member of, you know, you didn't mean to. Well, at the top, you know how you can see the golden blue at the top of the screen. You see how you can see the gifted memberships at the top in the chat there? Click on one of those. Like maybe, I don't know if you click on it with your finger on your phone, and then it should say, you know, do you want to make yourself available? See that? Try doing that. I hope that was the right thing that I said. Oh, you have to be subscribed to the channel. Okay, that makes sense. I think it's kind of crappy, though, that they don't let you pick, you know. I mean, I guess it makes sense that you can't just pick people, but, you know. It's also kind of weird that I'd rather give it to people that I've seen around that don't have one. But hey, man, I really appreciate all of you guys' generosity tonight. Very, pretty amazing. Thank you. I mean, it started off kind of weird. It was just for 2 hours. It got slow, but then Sharon Gornick with her challenge. That changed everything. That was pretty cool. Maybe we need more challenges. You know, that would. Let's see. Okay, to join, it's click join the 3 dots at the top right memberships setting. So you click join the 3 dots, the top right, gift membership settings, I guess. Well, try what she just said. Hit the 3 dots. What happens when you do the 3 dots? She said 3 dots and top right, and then gift membership settings. Mine doesn't say that on my computer. It says community moderation, participants, timestamps, pop out, chat, feedback. That's on a laptop, though. I don't know. Made myself available too. Huh. Weird. Oh, you have to click the join button? Yeah, maybe try that. Click the join button, but if you have an Apple, that won't even show up. So, you know, it just gets really complicated. When you have an Apple phones, just make YouTube a nightmare. Yeah, a box underneath someone's gifted membership box. It only shows if you're not a member and allow gifts. Oh, there you go. If it says report block, I don't know about that. Right. Anyways, thanks again up there to Sharon Gornick, and you know, special thanks to Lisa Valenzuela and everybody else out there tonight who was kind enough to send in super chats and whatnot and then it turned into a better night than normal. Just, I don't know, miraculously. But very, very kind. And as a channel, we gave out $500 to RAIN, which is violence against women as well. So there you go. Gray, you are challenging enough yourself. Okay, I know. I know, Sharon Garnick, I know. I wonder if I haven't seen you know, Cheryl Moran for a while, because I don't know, I think I was kind of worried about her because she remember when she got sick and then she had to go back to the hospital, but then she was out of the hospital and I was just kind of worried about like if something happened to her. Yeah, I haven't seen her for like, I don't know, over a week. And I haven't heard, I tried emailing her too, I haven't heard from her. Droid phone. Yeah, I use Android myself. Hey, thanks, Patricia Grizo. Very cool, very cool. You get an email on Gmail if you gifted a membership too, really? Oh. Yep. Yeah, I hope she's okay, because I think she had a pretty bad food poisoning. And that stuff's no joke, man. That's legitimate, like, it's dangerous. I had it one time. Or maybe I had it, I don't know. I think it just once. I ate salmon right out of the... I went to Fred Meyer's and go, hey, can you give me some of that salmon? I just ate it. You know, it's like, I thought it was sushi quality. And then I got really sick. And my dad said, was it 6 hours ago? And I go, yeah. And I go, exactly. He goes, oh, yeah, food poisoning. That stuff's crazy, man. Food poisoning is different. A lot of people think they have food poisoning when they have gastroenteritis. It's sort of similar, but it's not, man. It's not the same. Food poisoning, you feel like you're going to die multiple times. You just feel just horrendous. Yeah, exactly. From a chicken salad sandwich. Yeah, I mean, food poisoning is different. You know, your body is just trying really hard to get rid of every bit of it through every single part of your body. I mean, you're throwing up, you're, going number twos, you're pee, everything is just, your body's just trying to get rid of it. It's really pretty bizarre, too. I mean, like, when you go to the bathroom, well, I'm not going to get into it. It's just, hope you never have to experience it, anybody. All right, well, did you guys find the show part at least interesting? And I thought it was pretty cool also how we, I was thinking, man, if you guys are going to be that generous, we'll just send the 500 right now to Rain. So we're already at 1,000 this month. We're going to finish off our scholarship fund probably this month, and then maybe the rest of it goes to our DNA fund again. We got some good stuff coming. 2 of the cases that we've funded over these years, one of them I even worked on to try to locate the grave site of a torso, and I helped them find it. I was a big part of that. And that one, and you know what the other case is, you guys? Remember the kid that was on he was shaved from the waist down, and there was a bike that was stolen that was near him, and there was beer cans, and he's been unidentified for like decades. That's one of the ones too. So the torso and that one are both making their way to sequencing, like literally being uploaded to GEDmatch soon. How cool is that? All right, anyways, thanks everybody for being here tonight. We will see you tomorrow. Appreciate it. And yeah, I'm going to try to go fishing at really early in the morning. It's already kind of late, so I'm not going to get much sleep. But I'm going to try to go fishing with my kid. See how that goes. But anyways, thanks for being here, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. And thanks again, Sharon, for that challenge. That was awesome. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Good night, everybody.
True crime.
Yay!
Man, you haven't said that in a long time.
I have not seen one person. That is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pop protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple for conjecture. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Correct.
Okay, bye.